I mean, TikTok's probably cool if you're finding the TikToks that you want to find, but man, I'm not into it. I've realized that the older I get, there's some new shit I just don't need. Don't need.
What are you talking about?
I don't know, man. It's what I tell my boomer brain to justify not being on TikTok.
Oh, I mean, I'm only on there mostly for business reasons, so
Yeah.
um, I mean, I enjoy it though because it's exciting. To kind of like it's like YouTube before like you had to be like the only way to like make it in YouTube is like I don't know, be super famous or
Yeah. It's harder to break through now that there's so many people doing it. I agree.
right, yeah, and like I think a lot of people make like hour-long content
Yep.
on YouTube, and I think that like, that's the thing is like people make documentaries or retrospectives.
Yeah.
And I kind
Yeah.
of
The video essay is huge on YouTube.
yeah, I mean, it seems like that's like mostly what um we're like at least what I've seen. And whereas TikTok, it's like short form content. People only have the attention span of 12 to 15 seconds.
Mm.
So you're gonna make like everything a bit more snappy. Anyway, August, how was your week, man?
It was pretty solid, honestly. End of January, still chilling. Still regretting that I made any New Year's resolutions at all because I haven't followed through. No, it's been chill. Beginning of the year has a couple good new shows that started. That's fun. I've been checking some of those out.
What do you?
Checked out HBO's Peacemaker last night, which is kind of like a spin-off continuation of James Gunn's Justice League. That's actually a pretty fun show. I'm enjoying that. John Cena is just naturally a comedic fucking genius, so that's pretty entertaining. What else? There's a couple decent animes out or that I hadn't gone and picked back up on. The second season of Demon Slayer is pretty dope. Checked a little bit of that out too.
I haven't even watched that.
Yeah, no, I was procrastinating on it too. Then finally, kind of bit the bullet and watched season 1. I think sometime in the fall last year on Netflix. And then season 2 just started, like
Right.
basically the end of the year / the beginning of this year. And it's still gorgeous. Ufotable is the animation studio that does it, and they're arguably one of the best in the business, if not the best in the business. So,
oh wow,
everything is beautiful. Every fight is gorgeous. It's just an enjoyable show. It's very typical shonen, but it's fun, so you don't care.
right?
Yeah, and basically that, just feeding the endless hunger to consume new media that's good that I haven't seen yet. I don't.
I
What?
was gonna ask you about Peacemaker.
Peacemaker's good. Peacemaker's real good. John Cena's funny as fuck. I don't know where that came from because like I guess his character from WWE was kind of funny, but like, man, like he's really really funny in shows. And like he's even funnier than he was in Suicide Squad, which I thought would have been hard, but apparently like set him up with like a good producer and director, and he's on point. He's carrying that show right now.
On his back.
Yeah, basically. But on his gigantic back. Because there are so many shirtless scenes, and that man is jacked as fuck. But yeah, there are 3 episodes so far. It's on HBO Max. It's basically TVMA. They're definitely titties because it's on streaming network and they can do that. But it's all around. It's a fun show. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it yet. It's like if Deadpool. It's almost like if Deadpool had a TV series. Like it's that level of like irreverent comedy.
Really?
Just stupid gags that are hilarious but still awesome and superhero-ish shenanigans. But of course, cool. Peacemaker's kind of like an anti-hero, so there are like morally gray and assassination shit NAS going on, but it's still fun. It's still really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say if you get a chance, if you have a way to watch it, check that out. It's pretty entertaining. Haven't checked out many other new shows on HBO Max. Like I check out the big ones. But that one certainly is something I'll probably continue to watch. And yeah, I don't know. What's new with you? What have you been up to?
Okay, so like I'm definitely feeling that like procrastination thing because
Yeah.
I recently bought a wire rack for my room.
What's a wire rack? Like just
So, it's hard to like it's just like a shelf
Yep.
that you might use in a garage or whatever.
Gotcha.
And basically just like, wires and all that and like the sizes of the shelves are adjustable, right?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
um I had bought it because I didn't have enough space in here, or I was like stacking boxes to kind of like make space for things. And yeah, anyway, I bought something that would fix that, and so I've been like trying to hook up all my consoles again, and what you realize is that wires are a fucking nightmare.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
so
Cable
like
cable management is a real art.
it is, and like the thing is that I'm gonna have to take the easiest thing to do is to set everything in place, but also you have to make sure that things are still working.
Yep.
So like I was doing a lot like some testing, and I'm trying to get it so like my like I have a couple of like old TVs here like CRTs,
Mhm.
and they run into each other. So like basically you get two TVs showing the same thing at the same time, and then that shoots up into a capture card. Actually, no, an upscaler, which then you know what I mean upscales the retro game, and then
Mhm.
shoots into the TV. I mean into the computer with a capture card, and that's how like you stream stuff. Um,
Yep.
so like that's been sort of like my big project is to put together all my consoles so I can stream them whenever I want and play like a bunch of old ass games. Hey, do you happen to have like a headset or anything that you could use?
Are you echoing? I can't.
Yeah,
I
it's
can
it's
find
it,
it.
it's echoing on my part. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let me look for a headset. Yeah, damn. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, if you don't
Uh,
mind.
yeah, no. I have one. I just gotta find it. Do do.
Right.
Yeah,
Um
no. But yeah, what were you saying?
oh yeah, so anyway, like I basically my whole project, for the past week has been to set it up so I can stream whenever I want, or if I have people over, it's we can pretty much just hang out and play stupid games like light gun games or any of the sort.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is
no, yeah, no. Like that's kind of so. Speaking of like emulation, like that's kind of. I mean, I reserved my Steam Deck way after you,
mhm.
but I mean that's basically what I'm hoping to turn my Steam Deck into is like a portable emulation machine.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm super excited for when that comes out. Supposedly, Steam just released a update that said like they're on track for the first orders for February. So hopefully at the end of February they start shipping them out to people.
Yeah, for me, the reason why I bought it was because I want to play Tekken 7 on the go.
Also,
Uh,
also a good use for it. Yeah.
yeah, it's like just playing fighting games like in my spare time. Like
Yep.
if I'm at work and I have a break, I can pull out the Steam Deck, hit the lab, for however long, and then go back to work or whatever. Because Tekken's sort of been my other priority recently is just trying to get better at the game.
Yeah.
Which fighting games, as I said before, fighting games M's a full time job. So,
It's
uh,
true.
the amount of like work you have to put in to kind of get good at a game, and especially when
Especially Tekken. Especially
especially
Tekken. 'Cause
Tekken,
There's
yeah,
so many. There's so many matchups. There's so many strings. There's so many buttons. There's so many moves.
yeah, you got to know
To,
when
to
you got to know when to fucking sidestep. You got to know.
Yeah, it's a very complex game. Totally, I totally give you that. But yeah, no, it's gonna be an interesting couple years for fighting games. Like, I love that the rollback revolution is now seems to be in full swing.
Oh hell yeah.
And when a new game comes out, like 8 times out of 10, it's probably gonna have rollback now. Whereas, like, if we went back just a year or two ago, having rollback was a coin flip or less, or even if it did have rollback, it would be terribly implemented, like SF5.
If they had rollback, it
Uh,
was probably like an indie company.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there was that longest period where the 100 active player indie games on like Steam were more likely to have rollback than like the biggest games in Japan that were played internationally, which was a bummer because it was just like I want, like, famous games didn't have like KOF 14 and like other ones just didn't have rollback, and you're like, why? We live in the 21st century. A game should have,
Yeah,
competent netcode implementations.
I agree.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, now we're starting to get that. Like, KOF 15 is gonna have rollback.
Mm-hmm.
DNF Duel, which I'm super hyped for, is gonna have rollback.
Oh my god, that game is it's gonna be that game is gonna be really wild when it comes out, just because of like the amount of shit you're gonna be able to do.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I watched the beta. That game looked insane. I can't
well,
wait to play it.
right, and when I was playing the beta, like,
Mhm.
I was like running into people, and everybody was playing characters differently, and like, you'd fight somebody, and they'd start using like like this one girl has a wheel that she pulls out. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yep, Inquisitor. Yep.
Yeah, Inquisitor, and then she can just sort of like lock you in like Urian with that wheel, and it's so obnoxious that you just have to block for like forever. Um, and if she just touches you, you're gonna get you're gonna get wheeled on. So, um, but yeah, I'm like really excited for the new fighting games as well. And but my only one gripe with the newer fighting games that have been coming out is they all have had um, what the fuck am I thinking of? Auto combos.
Yeah, mechanic simplifications. Yeah, I'm of two minds about that. Like, I love the idea of auto combos being an option, but I
Hmm.
want them to be like the smallest option there is. You know what I mean? Like, I want them to be like, as opposed to having like 2 or 3 buttons worth of auto combos, I want there to be like 1 button worth of auto combos. You know what I mean? And every other button you can just do combos as normal, or even like less than that, where like there's only certain ways to get into auto combos.
Right.
Because I think that's what a lot of people who are like, fighting game OGs, or not even fighting game OGs, but have just been around the genre for a while, want is that they want the freedom to be able to do and make the combos that they want to do.
Right.
They don't want to be kind of locked into whatever kind of the next, string in an auto combo is.
Well,
Uh,
like the thing is that like, okay, so like when I was playing KOF, I can say this for sure, and
mhm,
like this is a bit of a scrub quote complaint, is the auto combo thing,
mhm,
because it's like if you practice correctly, you won't get auto comboed, but if you mash it all,
mhm,
then you get the auto combo. So it's like the way I play 2D fighters is I love to double tap my buttons.
mhm.
So that does not work now. If if I double tap my buttons, I'm getting auto combos, and it does it. It's that little thing of just sort of annoying you, that it's like it's not a big deal, but it just kind of like irks me a little bit. That I have
Yeah.
to like pay attention to it now.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I think that's a complaint from a lot of veteran fighting game players, is they're used to being able to like negative edge buttons and do all these other stuff, whereas now
so
it's like with buffers the way they are, a lot of times you just end up, doing the next part of an idle combo string, which a lot of people, aren't doing on purpose. So
yeah,
yeah, no, I could
yeah.
totally see that can be a problem.
The,
Yeah.
the other thing too is like with the auto combo, it ends with a super, like a free
Yep.
super. And
Yep.
if you in KOF 15, if you have like 3 bars, it'll use 2 or 3 of them.
Hmm.
With the it's not just like Dragon Ball Fighters where you get you only get a level 1.
Yeah.
it gives you way more of a reward for using auto combos and mashing. That
Yeah.
like it's sort of like I've won matches that I shouldn't have won just because of fucking auto combos.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, like, you know, I mean, what's in the game is what's in the game. You know what I mean? Like, it's not your opponent's fault. You know, they were caught lacking and they got hit with some easy shit.
yeah.
So you know, I mean, I can't. You can't say you didn't deserve to get that hit when it's just like, well, I got the hit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Wait.
maybe I did. Yeah, like, yeah, maybe you didn't execute. You know, the full like, you know, super input motion at the end, but you know, I mean, like, you know, I'm not exactly hating it. You know, I mean, I'm not loving it, but I'm not hating it either. Like,
Bro,
my
I
my
was yeah.
yeah.
Keep going, keep going.
Well, I guess like my biggest frustration with auto combos is your frustration that they're too easy to accidentally do. But
Right.
I don't mind them in there to be like, hey, you can get in this game and do basic cool shit easily. And then if you want to get actually deeper, you can figure out more shit as you go. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think that's, you know, it's not necessarily the best way to go about doing it, but I kind of respect that fighting game devs are trying to find ways to like make even casuals be able to get in and do easy cool shit quickly.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, learn meta stuff and learn better mechanics later.
The I would agree. Yeah, so it basically just, it rewards you for learning those more difficult combos.
Yep.
But to me, it changes the way the game feels in a way that I just don't like. I love the way like other KOF games feel. Like if I'm playing Terry Bogard or something, like I'm
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, this is Terry Bogard. Feels good to like do stand jab to crouch heavy punch.
Mhm.
That feels great. But now it's like, it doesn't. It just doesn't have that sort of the same it just ruins the way, like all of the years of like me playing like old school fighting games and playing Terry Bogard for say. Now he's just like, he feels like a different character, and I fucking hate that. And but I like, again, this is a scrub, this is more of a scrub complaint on my part. It's just like how I didn't like Ryu having auto combos in Street Fighter 5. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, I mean, they would you even call them auto combos? Like they weren't off one
oh,
button; they were more of
sorry.
target
They're
combos.
target combos. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
that's what I meant to say.
yeah,
But like the reason why I don't play like Dragon Ball Fighters is because of
yeah,
auto combos, and I didn't
yeah.
even like it when when I was playing the fuck's the name, Melty Blood. Like,
Target combos are like the poor man's auto combo, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, like I see what you're saying. Like, I mean, that was one of the big complaints about Melty Blood is that like aren't there auto combos off two buttons? So that's like two out of three buttons.
Everything auto combos.
I thought it was like I thought like only two of the attack buttons auto comboed.
They basically have like light, medium, heavy, and every
Yeah.
single one of them launch the character,
Mm.
and like it will end in a super. Actually, I think like it's a little more like fighters where like you only use light, and it winds up going into a super. But to you, there's EX moves, and then there's like the moon. Bro, the fucking the name of
Moon drive.
the moon. I want to say, no, not moon drives. I mean everything. They're like the shield stuff, like the
Yeah.
reflective shield stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like the moon drives, and then there's the arc drive finish. The naming of the moves is terrible in that because
I mean
it's
that's a consistent truth among all fighting games though. I mean like anyone who's ever played like fucking what Uniclear, I mean come on, that title's fucking gibberish. Like
yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, like
yeah,
Guilty Gear,
like
it has a bunch of bullshit
yeah, any of the fucking just
anime.
yeah, anime games have the dumbest names for stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But like I would say definitely I didn't really like that aspect of it, and but it's been every fight. It's been like, Guilty Gear Strive, and then Melty Blood, and then um KOF
Are we still
15
talking about
auto
auto
combos.
combos?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
every
no, as I said, I wish they toned it down. Like I don't mind the idea of an auto combo. I wish they just toned it down a little bit.
Yeah, look, honestly, I'm gonna be mad if Tekken 8 has auto. I know it's going to. I know it. I already
Yeah,
know it's gonna have auto, and I fucking hate that. And
yeah.
they're gonna take away.
Well,
They're
I
gonna
mean,
take out
so
wave
wait,
dashing,
wait.
and
So doesn't Tekken almost have auto combos anyway with like the 10-string shit and stuff like that? Like
um,
to me that felt pretty damn close.
So like the thing is when I believe when you're playing like in player match, they take that away. But like I think it's an option to like do one button in like do the macro or whatever. Like
Yeah,
I think it is in story mode, but I don't think it exists in I don't know. I don't actually use it because I only use 4 buttons.
yeah. Well,
Um
I mean, because no one ever has time to do the full 10-string, but the 10-string input is super easy from what I remember.
the 10 string, well, it depends on the character, but 10
Yeah,
strings aren't difficult. And they're honestly they're not used because most of the time they just suck.
yeah.
Eh,
They're not practical.
they're
Yeah,
not practical. But you know, some people will do them just to be fucking disrespectful.
yeah,
And that's why like you have low tier god like he's doing strings like
yeah,
is a you know the famous low tier god thing. And
yeah,
so that's because someone was like trying to fuck with him and they
yeah.
start but um anyway, yeah. uh I wasn't a big fan of the I mean I don't think that's an auto combo though. You actually have to know the sequence to input it. um
Yeah, no,
that's
you're
way more
right.
difficult.
I don't think it's an auto combo, but man, like it's like the next best thing to an auto combo. Like it's super easy. Not I don't think there are any directional inputs in it, or maybe there's like one.
Oh, there's highs and lows
Yeah,
and mids in that. So like there when you know you do a 10 string, the problem with it is that like if they block the first couple of hits, your 10 strings like pretty much finished.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, like I hear what you're saying.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, no, I mean you have a point. I don't know how they're gonna change Texas. Like as I said, it's that weird. Yeah, and like I understand what fighting game devs are trying to do. I'm not saying they're going the best way about it.
mhm.
But they're essentially trying to like, raise the skill floor. Without entirely sacrificing the skill ceiling, which I get, I do. Because I mean they want casuals to kind of enjoy it when they come in.
Yeah.
I get that also an argument can be made, but that's kind of missing the point of fighting games where like, the skill floor is supposed to be high because like, once you reach that basic level of competency, you start seeing the game in a different way.
Yeah, you like earn that you earn that
Yeah.
ability. You didn't like you know what I mean? Like wave dashing itself is like incredibly difficult to do, to learn how to
Mhm,
do.
mhm.
That like even higher level players still don't have that down, you know,
Yep.
which is kind of wild.
Yep. So I mean I can see it both ways. Hopefully, uh going forward in the future they find some way to kind of get a best of both worlds if that's possible.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of people were really enjoying the freedom DNF Duel was giving you, and DNF Duel had a lot of cool simplified input stuff. So we'll see. I mean, but like, is that game still gonna have a high skill ceiling? I don't know.
I think like so here's the thing. I think ultimately even with auto combos, the best players are going to win.
Yeah,
It's
of
not going to
course. Oh, of
change
course.
that.
100%, 100%.
So it's only going to be an issue for people who are like like intermediate to like newer
Yep.
you know, like experienced players where, you know, um it's going to bother them and people are going to rage. But you know, that brings up another point is like Project L is going to be have a lot of auto combos and a lot of people are
Yeah.
thinking that that's like going to be the future of fighting games actually. Like that's a huge thing.
Yep.
Because it's like the first fighting game, you know, famous fighting game that's free to play.
Yep.
And it's League of Legends. So,
Yep.
you know,
So like I like to me it kind of blows my mind because I'm like everyone sees like a free to play fighting game is like suddenly gonna be the thing that like explodes the genre.
mhm.
Honestly, I don't see it. Not because like I don't think free to play can't be successful, but I mean I think fighting games are so niche and it takes a certain attitude to be willing to just go get beat up a ton until you actually get good enough to, play against other people. Not to mention it's not a team game, so you don't have that like that you can't you don't have that like mental buffer of being like, well, I mean, my team sucks too. It wasn't just me.
Well,
When it's fighting
yeah.
game, it was like no, it was just you.
Well,
And
I think the idea is that like, you look at League of Legends or Dota 2, and those are like the biggest esports games.
yeah,
Whereas fighting games doesn't have a free to play, and it doesn't, so it doesn't get more people into it.
yeah,
That
no, as I said, I think free to play will get more people into it. I just don't think it's gonna blow up the genre in the way people think, or at least it's not gonna happen quickly. It's gonna happen real slow,
right,
or
yeah,
not as fast as people think it's gonna happen.
yeah. There's
And
a lot of hope going on, but yeah,
yeah, yeah. I think there's a little bit too much hopium
hopium.
going on there. But
It's a hopium
yeah. I
den.
mean, yeah. I just like as I said, I think free to play will help the genre. I
Mhm.
don't think it's gonna take over the genre. And I certainly don't think it's gonna like become the new de facto standard for most fighting games. Because like I think at the end of the day, developers are gonna be like, look, can we charge like $30 for a new game rather than free for a new game and just make money off cosmetics? I still think a lot of them are just gonna go with the guaranteed money because like look at what happened to uh I think what DOA 5 or DOA 6, like didn't one of those eventually go free to play and just try to rely on costumes,
Yeah, you
and
had,
it's still
well, they had Core
it's
Fighter, but you could buy a
yeah,
bigger package of the game and get a bunch of stuff unlocked.
yeah, but my point is like DOA still ended up DOA.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
but like you also have to think of it like this: the online in DOA is fucking garbage.
Yeah, no,
It's
true.
it's not good. I've played it. Like that's the reason why I don't play DOA. It's so bad. Like
Yeah.
once I heard, I was like, okay, I'm interested in DOA 6. And then
Mhm.
we looked it up, and it was like, oh yeah, the online still sucks. I'm like, great, I'm not buying it. And
Yeah,
that was pretty much the only reason why I don't play DOA, because I enjoy DOA. I
yeah,
think it's fun.
yeah. Yeah, no, as I said, I think having better net code is definitely going to be the first step to wider FGC game accessibility and an adoption. Like I mean, really that is the most important thing. More than business model, more than free to play, more than anything else.
Yeah.
Just having better net code. But even after the net code, I think it's going to be a couple years where we're starting to see we'll start to see an explosion in uh adoption and more players and bigger player bases, and I really think that's gonna come with like just a really interesting uh you know I'm not gonna say microtransaction system, but like you have to give people stuff they want, like if
Yeah.
whether that's gonna be like a like SC6 style like costume creator, whether that's gonna be like buying specific costumes like
Well, that with
in
League of
DOA,
Legends though,
you know.
that's like they're taking the League model.
Yeah.
They're gonna take the League model with it, and like it's gonna have rollback netcode because it has GGPO dudes working on it.
Yep. Yep. Yeah,
So
I don't know. I don't know. As I said, I think it'll be popular. I think it'll be big. I just don't think it'll be like I think the way a lot of FGC people are thinking about it, like it's going to be the second coming. Where I'm like,
but
yeah, people will like it. I just don't think it'll be as big as you think it's
y-
going to be.
you also have to realize that this is gonna be one of the biggest. This is a fighting game with a budget, like a triple A. You know what I mean? Like a triple A budget. Like
Yeah,
it's gonna be. They're not gonna have problems. Funding this game.
yeah,
And so that's so it has everything kind of going for it.
yeah,
But yeah, of course it's like they're only like laying building blocks down of
yeah.
future stuff.
I just think there's a reason to me in my brain, like there's a reason why fighting games are niche.
Mhm.
And that's that like that underlying reason isn't going to change, and it is also going to be the reason why adoption in growing bigger player bases is going to be a slow going. I think it's going to happen eventually. I just think it's going to be a slow going. No matter what, free to play, not free to play, big budget, low budget,
I
thing comes out.
I wouldn't be shocked if Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 were free to play.
I wouldn't be either, but I'm gonna say that like I'm like, to me what would be even less shocking is rather than like them kind of trying to split the difference with them going with like, it's not gonna be free to play, but we're not gonna start at $60. You know what I mean? We're gonna start with like, you buy a small, maybe like $20 base package, and then there's more stuff on top of that. Because I still think they're gonna want their money on the table for a lot
Yeah,
of those games.
yeah. I mean, like, but also I think like you brought up DOA 5, and
Yeah.
that has like the most expensive deal. That was the most expensive DLC game ever.
Yeah.
Like when they added it up, it was like around like 4 grand or something, maybe more
Yeah,
than
but
that.
like I wonder how many people actually went and bought all that shit. You know
I'm
what I
sure
mean?
there were some people that
There,
did that.
yeah, but like enough to make it worth it compared to like a more, normal release where there's just a season pack. Excuse me. There's just a season pack for like, that season's costumes or something like that.
Yeah,
Uh, as I said, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think free to play will help the fighting game genre. Like I would have, like, KNOK, not KOF, KKI kind of tried it. I
yeah,
definitely think it would be kind of interesting if it's like, to get people to play different fighters. If you had like rotations where like, oh, these 3 fighters are available this week for free.
yeah. That was
Um,
smart.
yeah, kind of like how Smite did it, where like there were certain rotations of fighters. And then if you really got good, or wanted to spend money, you could use your points or your money to buy the fighters that you wanted to play as most. I definitely think that's going to happen, and I think it's going to be decently successful.
Wasn't what's that the name of that game? The free to play one, fighting game, which has directionals as inputs.
I'm not sure.
Oh my god, it's been around for a while now.
Was it
It's like a
Footsies? Tough Love Arena? No, Footsies you had to pay for. Tough Love Arena was free though.
Tough Love Arena. No, I mean, didn't that have like Blitz netcode or something?
I don't remember.
Uh,
Don't think so. But
I can't remember the name of it, but it'll come to me eventually. But yeah, there was I thought there was another one that like was free to play and had like the directional inputs like Rising Thunder. Um, which again, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. I didn't even like it when Flexel did it because it felt wrong, you know. Um, hello, you there?
yep, still here, still here. Yeah, no, I started. I didn't hear the question. You still
Did
there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. Okay.
But fighting EX layer like directional inputs. You know what I mean? Like I don't
I
know.
don't. I don't remember. Yeah.
Fighting EX layer has like the option to do supers through like down down plus 2 buttons or something.
Hmm, cool. I'm surprised more games haven't done the that cool thing that EX Layer does, where like you get a different move set after you dash than if you're just doing a standing thing. I think it's a really cool way to augment the number of moves characters have. I'm surprised more fighting games don't do something like that, but
Yeah, oh, you mean like with the Gogi system?
I'm not sure if it's the Gogi system or not. I remember reading somewhere that like when you're dashing, you get access to different attacks than when you're just normally walking or whatever.
Oh yeah, like running attacks.
Yeah,
Like Tekken. The Tekken has
yeah.
that. Um,
But like I'm talking about for like 2D games.
right, yeah. Man, I really like that game, but I've barely played it.
I know. I think I played it once or twice with you, and then I haven't gone back to it. And I like it too. I
I,
think it's
I
a
even bought
nice.
the Switch version.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Well, yeah, we'll have to play that at some point. Yeah, the Switch version looked cool. I liked some of the changes they made. I just never play. I never got around to getting it because I had the PC version. But
yeah, I think it has rollback and then like a simplified like combat system
yeah,
is what it is, but it has everything that like has all the DLC, I think.
nice.
Besides
Yeah,
colors,
maybe.
of course.
Yeah, I might get that too. Shoot, I'll look into it. But yeah, yeah. Fighting games are. I'm optimistic about the future of fighting games. I just don't know if we'll ever see the crazy growth that people are expecting. I definitely think there will be growth with free to play though.
Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't be surprised if more attempts to make like party style fighting games happen too. Like not necessarily like a brawler like
Like Final Fight or something.
Smash or something
Yeah.
like that. But I could totally see them doing something kind of like Street Fighter X Tekken again, where like there's like a 2v2, something like that. Like I could totally see stuff like that coming back.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, like, I didn't even know this until I started playing more Tekken, but a lot of people were saying that Tekken Tag 2 almost killed Tekken, um, which is it's kind of wild. It did so poorly. It's like the least selling Tekken ever, and supposedly almost killed the series. But
Really, I didn't know that because
yeah,
I mean, looking back on it, I think a lot of people regard it pretty fondly. It's just maybe that's not what people wanted out of the Tekken franchise at that time.
I
But
think they're
I,
starting to, but like
yeah,
the lot of people didn't like for whatever reason it just didn't sell.
yeah,
Uh,
interesting. Well, but like I wonder what the numbers on Street Fighter X Tekken were because, as I said, I could totally see if Street Fighter X Tekken came out today, I could
mhm.
totally see it doing way better, especially with modern netcode. Because you're just like, hey, yo, you and me, let's go tag team and beat two other guys. Like it's just like it has a fun. As I said, I think it's that fun kind of team element, like playing with your friends as opposed to playing against your friends
Yeah.
is definitely going to be a thing that I think is going to get more people in fighting games.
Honestly, I think like damn it. Like I think one thing too is like that is I get annoyed with fighting games is like the systems that like overwhelming systems that they add in, like the Gogi system or like
Well, I mean, so that was the big thing that people didn't like about Street Fighter Tekken was the gems.
yeah, the
But
gems
like,
didn't do shit.
if you ignore the gem system in that game's actually pretty sick.
Um
Uh,
so here's the other problem with that game is that all normals did the same amount of damage. So like all lights did X amount of damage. All mediums did X amount of damage, and you know what I mean. So it basically like excluded, so characters became irrelevant like really quickly.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, like I think and the Pandora system that was fucking terrible.
Yeah, that was
Um,
weird.
yeah, when it's like I can't tell you how many times I accidentally activated Pandora, and then lost because of it. Um,
Yeah. I wonder if that's going to be. I wonder if people are going to have the same difficulty with the. I forget the name of the word. It's the similar system in DNF Duel where you can like cash out your gray health for like a RC basically.
like Roman cancel.
Yeah, so like I was watching the video about the systems in DNF Duel, and there's a system where you can like cash out your gray health to
Hmm.
like basically do a Roman cancel. It
Yeah.
can like extend combos, and I wonder if people are gonna like accidentally do that and then like fuck up their win streak because they're like, oh shit, that there goes all my health. You know what I mean?
Boy,
But
wouldn't it have been great if that beta had a practice mode?
dude, I know, right? For real, for real, for
Cause,
real.
cause when I was playing it, I was getting bodied because I didn't know how to do anything.
Yeah,
Um, and like I was lucky because some people were being
yeah.
merciful when I was trying different characters.
Yeah, your opponent's like practice mode, tough shit. Let's go. We're throwing hands.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, some people
yeah,
were just like, "Oh fuck you, I'm gonna body you," and then
yeah,
that's just the way it was. But
yeah. This ain't practice mode. Just the streets.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
not even a versus mode, just
yeah,
online versus matches. Like
yeah.
that's such a stupid way
And
to do a beta.
if you were offline, you couldn't even pick your character. It was just like random select versus the
Yeah,
computer.
that's so
Yeah,
weird.
some of that was pretty nuts. I totally agree. Some of that was like, why? But why though?
Remember like how they and like they announced it like forever ago, and then all of a sudden
Yeah,
they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, guys, we're doing a beta," and then it's
yeah.
almost like
So
Virtua
to me,
Fighter.
to me, like something like that, like on the outside seems crazy, but to me, that's genius marketing. Because I mean, that's basically what happened with like Apex Legends. Is they're like all of a sudden, oh yeah, game's coming out, try it out, and everyone tried it out, and it's like, oh, this is fucking good. You know what I mean? Like, there's something to be said for releasing something good without like any hype, any previous warning. Because like sometimes people get like overhyped in their minds. You know what I mean? It builds too much of an expectation. Whereas if you know your product's going to be enjoyable, you know what I mean? Build like 2-3 days worth of hype and then just release it and let people figure it out.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, and then like word of mouth. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, there's a bunch. There's like a you could go on and on at length about games that were announced way too early in advance, and just didn't live up to the hype at all.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'd call. Remember when we were like, "What do you think about Cyberpunk?" And I was like, "I think it's gonna be a dumpster fire." And you're like, "I think that everyone didn't think that my guesstimation was correct."
yeah,
And then it wound up being a dumpster fire.
absolute dumpster fire. But
Uh,
like,
yeah,
so that's what was that whole situation was maddening to me because they'd already delayed the game so many times, and I'm just like, if the game's still not done, you might as well just delay it again and finish it. But no, they couldn't wait, and it came out, and it was a hot mess, and they lost like a shit ton of money between like bad word of mouth, and then their investors went around and sued them because they're like, yeah, hey, you released a dumpster fire. We want our money back. So I was like, oh, they could have just waited another year, half a year, and the game could have lived up to almost every promise they had,
yeah,
and it would have been fine. But no, like dumb executives being like, push it out, it'll be fine.
but
Early
money.
access, early access is the new model anyway, and of course, no one accepted that when it came to that game.
Yeah.
Not after all they had been promised. Yeah,
Oh wait, the I just remembered the other thing that was like really bad about Street Fighter Cross Tekken was
yeah.
that the DLC was all on the disc. Like I don't know if you know that, but
Yeah, no, I remember that. I remember DLC on Discgate. Yeah, I mean that was sad. That was a little sketchy, but at the same time, like I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? Like it's just like that. That's one of the things where the company was just mad. People
Yes.
found out more than anything. Oh, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
They decided to switch our cameras, but hold on. I can fix this real quick, I hope. Uh why did they do that? That's so crazy.
I don't, I don't know
Uh
why they do anything.
so yeah, apparently I'm August now.
Oh, your grimoire, nice.
Yeah, I don't know how to like reverse it. Oh, hold on. I think there's a son of a bitch. Anyway, I'm you now.
Hey,
Enjoy.
Freaky Friday.
Um,
Speaking of which, did you hear about that new Freaky Friday movie that's like a horror movie? I need to check that shit out. That sounds dope. Basically, girl switches bodies with a serial killer. So the
oh,
serial killer gets her
yeah.
body, like she gets the serial killer's body.
Yes.
That that sounds so dope.
It was actually yeah, that movie's like kind of old now, but yeah, absolutely.
Did you see it? Was it good? I didn't see it.
I didn't see it, but I watched I think I watched the Dead Meat on it,
You know.
which is, not actually watching the movie,
Yep.
um but yeah,
Yeah.
and this fucked with my settings so hard. Anyway,
It
um
did. It really. You're like you have this like white outline like you're a cartoon character now.
yeah, fucking put up bump. Wow. Here, I'm gonna take off that filter. Boom. I'm normal now.
There you go. You're back.
Kinda.
You're back in normal reality.
Well, there goes gravity. Anyway,
Yep.
but yeah, no, I haven't seen it yet, but I wanted to. Like, it was like the Vince Vaughn, I think Vince Vaughn comedy is what it
Yeah.
was called, and it looked good. It just, I want to like watch it and kind of make up my own decision on it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there were so many movies from last year that I just never got around to seeing. Like a lot of them looked good. I just kind of forgot.
You
And
know what?
then I continued to forget until someone brings it up randomly in conversation. And then I remember I'm like, "Oh yeah, I want to see that."
Did you hear about the movie called Power of the Dog?
I did. I hear oh, excuse me. Benedict Cumberbatch again attempts an American accent, this time from the South. It
Yeah.
is still equally terrible.
Um, so I watched two.
I mean,
I was like watching
yeah.
like back to back Cumberbatch movies today.
Mhm.
Like in the past 2 days, I think I watched like Doctor Strange, and then
Yeah.
I watched I was rewatching some of the Marvel movies too.
Yeah.
I rewatched. Oh yeah. Anyway, I watched the Imitation Game,
Yep.
and which was good. And then I
Good.
watched Power of the Dog, and that movie, I don't know how I feel about it. Um, it was kind of boring, you know.
I mean, some movies are boring. I mean, that's just kind of how they're written. I don't necessarily know if that makes it. Well, I mean, some boring movies are bad, some boring movies are good. I guess that's all up to the viewer. But yeah,
So
no, it's on my list to check out. What's the movie about? I don't really know.
so it's a weird, okay, so it's a strange movie where like at first it wastes so much time not filling you in on what's going on, and it really wants you to like read people's body languages and like all that to kind of see like, oh, this person feels this way, or this, you know what I mean? Like if you're not paying attention, like close attention,
Hmm.
you're gonna miss out on like a lot of different what's the word I'm looking out for? Like signs, like social signs that like this person feels this way. So
Hmm.
it's about this family that like these two brothers, and one of them is like worried that his brother is dating a woman who a widowed woman who just wants his money.
Hmm.
So he like kind of his brother, the brother kind of treats her like crap.
Hmm.
And the son kind of, and that's like the first half of the movie is like all of that just setting that up. Like it doesn't explain much, but they own a ranch basically, and like he thinks that anyway, they wind up getting married, and then it causes like a point of conflict. And then the son builds a relationship with the uncle, and basically it becomes like psychological type shit. But there's a whole lot of like just standing in a field and dancing, and what else like Cumberbatch going swimming for some, like shit
Yeah,
like that, where
just a lot of random scenes.
or watching him what's the word, like castrate a bull, like, that's just in there.
Oh,
um
weird.
yeah, because he also, he makes hides and stuff. I think he's like kind of not a ranch hand, but he just, he's running the ranch or whatever. And um it's just it's just kind of dumb. The end of it, like I was just waiting, like when is something gonna happen, and nothing really happens throughout it. Like there's a scene where like the wife is trying to impress a governor who came over, and
Yeah.
he's like, learn to play the piano, and she's like, I'm not very good. And then Cumberbatch is like playing the banjo, and he can play the song that she's trying to play on piano just fine.
Hmm.
And he's like trying to do like intimidation shit. uh
Yeah, so like stuff like that makes me wonder, and like this is true even with good Western movies, is how
mhm.
many of them are made just because people want to revisit the aesthetic, rather than them actually having like a good story to tell.
um
Because I feel like that's a pretty common theme among Westerns, is everyone's like, I want this Western setting. I'm like, well, is there a good story along with the Western setting? It's like, no, I just want a Western setting. It's like, I
so
don't know.
if you could like cut out, this movie could be like an hour and a half, and I think it's like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
um and I mean, the acting is good, the acting's great, everyone's on top of it. And but like once you kind of figure out what happens at the end, um which, I can spoil it for you if you want, but just throwing that out there.
Yeah. You can spoil it for me.
Okay.
I'm not gonna watch it
Okay,
anytime soon.
it's on Netflix, by the way. Okay, so,
Yeah,
spoiler warning.
that's
um
fine.
so basically what winds up happening is the son is, you know the uncle kind of made fun of him at first, and was really rude and nasty to everybody. um and he goes off to, they get married, his brother and, his mom, and then um he goes off to college. and then
Yep.
he comes back, and then he kind of starts working on the ranch with the uncle, and um they bond because he for whatever reason he's just as intelligent as the guy who owns the ranch, the brother, the nasty
Mhm.
brother, he's
Mhm.
a Harvard graduate, or no, he like
Mhm.
graduated from a high level school, and he's very smart, and the son
Mhm.
is also in college. So anyway, they're both smart. So essentially what happens at the end is the son kills his uncle with anthrax. um
Shit.
yeah, and there's all kinds of hints that this son isn't as naive, or he's kind of leaning into it, that
Mhm.
throughout the entire movie. So there's just things that hint towards that, but
Mhm.
I wasn't paying attention to them exactly. And then it kind of just it asks questions like, how much abuse would you tolerate your or
Mhm.
your mother. But he really, the guy was yeah, the brother was an asshole. He was an
Mhm.
asshole, but
Mhm.
by no means did he deserve to die because of it.
Yeah.
And basically the bad guy won. The bad guy lived, and but the mom and his stepdad are happy now.
That's a weird story.
Yeah, but it really wants you to be
Yeah.
it wants you to be invested in their relationships. And he winds up, like, since he bonds with the woman's son, like, the son kind of uses like things like one of his mentors, like,
Mhm.
whatever. And they don't even show they don't even show the son killing him. They just flash back. They just flash to the next morning, and you know Cumberbatch is sick, and then literally they drive him to the doctors, and he dies, and that's it. It's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
then a dude takes a rope and slides it under his bed, and it's like, oh, there's a clue, and he killed. It's not worth the time. Watch a review on it. Watch a spoiler review on it, and I think it would be just as fine. Like, I don't think you should waste your time.
Yeah.
Uh, there's much better movies out there.
Netflix has been telling some like out of pocket movies lately.
Oh,
Like,
for real?
did you hear about that like 365 days movie that
No.
was like basically like pro rape? It's
What?
it's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So like there's, I guess the basic plot of the movie is that like a dude kidnaps a woman, like restrains her, and then like forces her to watch him have sex so she falls in love with him. And then at the end of the movie, she does fall in love with him. So you're just like, what the fuck?
It's
And apparently, it's not even done. Like there are two more movies where like more kidnap shenanigans happen. Like she gets kidnapped again and falls in love with another kidnapper. So it's like WTF on so many levels.
well, it could be like a Nightingale effect, but
Yeah, or Stockholm
yeah,
syndrome
that's
type
what I
shit.
meant to
But
say.
yeah, but like it's like why Netflix? Why? Like why is this a thing?
You know what else? You know what other movie did that too? Is Don't Breathe 2.
uh yes,
Are you
yes.
are you
I never saw it, but I know the plot. I know the ending of Don't Breathe One.
okay? So you know how, like, basically he's a rapist. This guy,
Yeah, yeah,
the guy who's spooky, scary, the old man. And then in the
yeah,
second one, they make him the hero.
yeah.
And it's just like that you you can't just make him John Wick or whatever, because you just need to make a sequel.
Yeah,
It's pretty much, he just wind up being like a guy who killed bad guys, but he's just not, like,
but he's also a rapist, so it's like, oh, but it's still
he
not okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
he was the bad guy of the first movie.
yeah,
So it's just kind of weird that they made him into the hero or whatever.
yeah,
It's kind of fucked up.
yeah. Super fucked up. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, someone told me apparently it was like the the 365 days thing was based on a 50 Shades fanfic,
Oh boy.
which someone tells me originally that 50 Shades was a Twilight fanfic.
Yep.
And I'm like, was it Twilight was something else fanfic? Like the abusive relationship, like fucking stat goes all the way down. But yeah, no, it's just weird. Just plain weird. Like I mean, Netflix has definitely had controversies with like problematic media before, like the whole like 13 Reasons Why that ran for 3 seasons, where like the plot was A, arguably done after the first season, B, super problematic because it was basically about like a dude who was like committed suicide but wrote a letter blaming everyone else, and then everyone else started to feel shitty, and it's like, goddamn, like you can't just be doing that, but. Yeah, you know it is what it is. Like I think Netflix used to put like a, this may trigger you warning in front of their show, which I'm just like, okay, I get it. I guess Netflix is trying to split the difference on, how they handle their problematic content, but it's just like, I don't know, man. It's sketchy as fuck. Like I think the American like Psychological Association put out like a statement being like, yeah, this is a very problematic
I think
depiction of any of that.
the other movie I heard like was Licorice Pizza.
Oh, that just came out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
know anything about that. Yeah.
So the relationship in that movie is between like a 15-year-old boy and like a 25-year-old woman.
Yep.
And of course it's like romanticized.
Yep.
And I mean that was it just doesn't it's problematic.
Yes.
So
Probably
I mean,
not at the very least.
the very least.
Yeah, at the very least, the most easiest way to describe it is problematic. Yeah.
Yeah, just the easy way. But
Yeah.
so I mean that's the only like I just think there's just a lot of fucking double standards, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, I think like I wound up watching I've been rewatching Daredevil. And
Which the Ben Affleck version or the Netflix
oh,
version?
I just rewatched the Ben Affleck version like every chance I
Hell
get,
yeah.
man.
Oh man. Oh, I too wish I was back in 2004.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, you can. You just have to watch Venom.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I know, right? For real. Oh, that the Venom feels such like bad 2000 superhero movies. It's not even funny.
Oh yeah.
That's honestly like I don't know. I don't want to like No Way Home after credit spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it, but I love the way they include Venom because it's such a like, okay, you're here, then you're right back where you were.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's so great.
Man.
They don't let him meet Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
They barely let him interact with the universe at all, and then they send him right back.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of mad.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like okay, so my problem with No Way Home is that, well, first of all, there's a lot of holes in that plot.
I try not to think about it, and that way I still like the movie.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're gonna talk about spoilers, but
Yeah.
so like with Ned being magical,
Yeah.
that's I just don't like, and then the fact that Doctor Strange got trapped in the mirror realm which he was controlling.
Yeah.
He controlled by will for a
Yeah.
long ass time, like for the whole movie. And
Yeah.
then like I don't know.
And
then
so many of the scenes in that movie just exist for the sake of furthering the plot. It's not even funny.
Well, not only that, but like thinking about like how the villains are all like they all come back before they died, right?
Yeah.
So they fix them, but that means that they're just gonna be fixed, but they die.
Who knows? Who the fuck knows? No one knows.
They don't even know.
Doesn't make any sense.
They didn't even.
It doesn't even make any sense. Like, is he making alternate timelines when they go back? Like, there's so little about that movie that makes sense. The more you think about it,
yes.
Like, just the whole premise was that, it would only pull across dimensions people who knew, Spider-Man was Peter Parker. But right at the end, Electro admits he has no idea who Spider-Man is.
Right.
There's that whole scene where it's like, I thought you were black.
Oh,
and
shit.
Andrew Garfield's like, oh, sorry, man.
That's
And it's like,
right.
wait, so that means you had no idea who Spider-Man was. So why are you here?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh my
yeah,
god, yeah. And then
yeah,
it's just like, oh yeah, he uses his arc reactor to, to become a person.
more powerful. Yeah, yeah,
Well,
I know. Yeah, no, he uses the arc reactor to become cool.
yeah. He's like, and they don't even explain why he's cool.
Yeah, he's
He
just cool now.
he's just
He's
cool.
just cool. He went to. I don't even know. I can't even make a joke about this.
He fixes the
Like
gap in his teeth.
it does. Like he picked up yeah. Like he got the full like makeover. Like just from changing universes, bro. He's just cool in his universe. That's the only rule.
Boy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
The
even like. He picked up an issue of like Complex and started reading it and got outfit ideas and he's just like, I'm just gonna talk more black and it worked. That's all you gotta do.
well, he was
Oh,
he was the only person that I thought was actually funny in the movie.
oh no, I love James Fox. He was great in this. It was just his character was a complete 180 of a character from his character from Amazing Spider-Man, and you're just like, I don't. There's no way to
You
explain this, but okay.
you gotta be careful where you fall.
Yep, just gotta go with it.
You're gonna, yeah,
Yep.
and then I don't know, and then they were just trying to fix everybody. They're like, if we fix everybody, then the timeline will change, and there's no reason to believe that.
No, there's none.
The,
There's no, it's just optimism, just wishful thinking.
so I mean, like there was that I mean, I guess it was kind of cool seeing the Goblin, and then obviously it really didn't feel it. Their relationship between the three spiders was like it felt very hollow. Like I
I
didn't.
liked it. It could have been better, but I did like it. I wasn't super mad about it.
It just felt. It just didn't like. They're like, oh, we're here, and oh yeah, the people that died, and like the funny thing is like I was just waiting for Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man to tell the same story that Peter was telling. Like once Uncle Ben died, and he's like, well, also when Uncle Ben died, but he had to,
Yeah,
obviously he had to use Spider Gwen, but yeah,
yeah. I mean, yeah. They wanted to each have them come at it with a different kind of story.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was. I liked it. I enjoyed the movie. But the more you think about it, the holes definitely do start to appear. 100%, 100% agree with you there.
Also, if I remember correctly, at one point Tobey Maguire was wearing a turtleneck, and then all of a sudden he just wasn't. I'm
I'm
pretty sure
trying
that
to remember.
happened.
I don't remember that specific scene, but I do know that like his outfit was like super lame, and then it was just like, oh, but he has this Spider-Man costume underneath it, so I guess that makes it
Yeah.
okay. And it's like, yeah, sure, okay. Like,
Um.
what the hell have you been doing for the past like like you got a little backstory on
Mhm.
Andrew Garfield's Toby Spider-Man. You had no idea what like
It
Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man had been doing for arguably longer.
it,
You know what I
it
mean?
it kind of implied that yeah he was like that the the same amount of time had passed and that he
Yeah.
he was like still Spoderman, but yeah, I would have liked to have. So supposedly he's going to be in uh the both Spider-Man are going to be in another movie. Um,
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring them back.
well,
100% agree.
Andrew Garfield is going to be in Morbius, and
Oh, is that the rumor you heard?
yeah, that's the rumor I heard. But like, it's like also on Google, uh, like where like if you Google Morbius, he's like actors that are in the movie, and he's on there. And then
Interesting. Okay.
also Toby Maguire is going to be coming back in the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange 2.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they're gonna have him in that supposedly. So they're using the characters. I mean, also Sam Raimi is the one directing it, and he's the one who
Yeah.
directed the original
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
yeah, no, that would be awesome. Like, yeah, I'd love to see the Raimi Tobey Maguire reunion if that is true.
Supposedly also, like Iron Man is gonna be in the movie, but he's gonna be played by Tom Cruise.
That would be hilarious because that was the original casting they wanted to
Yep.
go with before RDJ. So
Yeah, and then they're gonna have Chris Evans back as playing the Human Torch. Uh,
Also, that would be hilarious.
yeah, so they're really they're gonna like delve into the those variants.
I
Uh,
mean, that would be cool. I don't know if I necessarily want all that. Like, to me, at a certain point, like all that kind of like wink, wink, nod, nodding at like production changes and all that shit gets a little circle jerky. You know what I mean? But I mean, I don't know. As long as there's an actual movie somewhere and all that in there with all that, shenaniganry, I'm okay with it.
have you watched What If?
Yes.
Okay, so you know that the Doctor Strange from What If is gonna be in Multiverse of Madness. Like,
So we don't know if it's the same one. They just look a lot alike.
oh, well, I
I
mean, it's very much it seems like he's the same
yeah.
one. He's using
I
some of the
think if
similar magic.
I think if Stephen Strange goes goth, he's gonna look like that no matter what. But yeah, they definitely had similar looks. I don't think it's confirmed that they're the exact same Doctor Strange. As I said, I think if Doctor Strange ever went evil, that he would just have a pretty standard look. So we don't know, but yeah, I'm excited for that movie. Like I saw the little teaser trailer that came out after No Way Home,
Yeah.
and then they released it on YouTube. I'm excited. I'm glad we don't have to wait too long. But yeah, who the fuck knows, man? Like,
At least. Well, hold on, wait. I just realized that the Vulture was in Morbius's.
Morbius too. Yeah, no one knows what universe Morbius is, and it makes no sense.
They also because they had Oscorp in the they had Oscorp in the trailer, and then in
Yeah, no,
Spider.
I feel like Sony's just throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks. Like I have no idea what that movie's referring to anymore, or what universe that movie's gonna be in.
Yeah,
I'll watch it because I watch all the Marvel stuff, whether it's good or not. But yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what that's gonna be related to. But I'll check it out.
I,
It can't be worse than Venom. Like I'd be surprised if it was worse than Venom.
oh
So.
man, that movie was so weird. Like
Oh,
it
dude,
was like
I thought the sequel was almost even worse
yeah, it was worse. It was
because
definitely worse.
it was like they were trying, and I'm like, this is still bad, guys. Like, what's going on here?
Well, like I don't know. They made Woody Harrelson like super cringe,
Yeah, they did.
and I think they were like they were kind of like working on the idea of having him be like what was that movie where he was a killer, um has killer in the name.
Natural Born Killers.
Yeah. I think that's kind of like the idea that they were going for because
Yeah.
Cleese Cassidy and
Mhm.
like just the dialogue was super cringe and like just like how he actually kills Cletus Cassidy is stupid.
Mhm.
I can't. Do you remember? Like, I think he says like some stupid one-liner, like "fuck this guy." Yeah, I think
I know. Dude,
that.
I try to block that movie in my memory. It was so terrible. It was so terrible.
And but it was like I don't know. There was all kind of like there's just a stupid, shitty movie, and I think that's the reason why we're not getting that version of Venom. It's probably because they were just like, nah, this is bad. Nobody wants this. Um,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm happy with the way they what they did with Venom in the end of No Way Home is that like they sucked him into the MCU for a moment, told him what's going on, and then just sent him right back.
yeah, they're like, all right,
It's
well,
the best way to handle it.
on your way now.
Yep.
Um,
It's like shoo.
but
The adults are talking.
my other kind of issue with No Way Home was that essentially nothing mattered at the end of it. Like, I get that Tom Holland's Spider-Man got to experience these things, but it didn't impact the MCU in any kind of way. Like,
Which I'm okay with. I mean, not every story needs to affect the greater MCU. I mean, all it really did was that it erased everyone's memory of Peter Parker, which I think is stupid, but whatever. If
well,
that was the only way the writers thought they could handle things, I guess I will be okay with it. I don't like it, but I'll be okay with it.
I
Like
just
it'd be
don't.
nice if I'd be nice if they wrote like a caveat into the spell that like if anyone he tells about the spell will instantly start to remember. But other than that, yeah, I think that was kind of dumb.
Well, also it's like, oh, I just remembered like Anyway, I'm gonna keep talking about this, but then I'm gonna bring up Strange in that movie. So like the thing is like, well, why did they have to erase everyone's memories? Why was that so important? Like what does that really accomplish? Does that mean that he doesn't have to be a part of the MCU? Is that kind of like what that
So,
implies?
so the in-universe reason was that again, anyone who knew Peter Parker or Spider-Man was going to come from outside the universe, excuse me, into their universe. So by erasing the knowledge of Peter Parker in this universe, it effectively stops that from happening. Uh, but yeah,
Right.
I don't know. It's kind of dumb. They effectively rebooted Spider-Man's story in this universe, and I don't entirely love it. It'll be cool for him to get a new trilogy. I definitely like a college trilogy with him that's similar to the 90s cartoon.
Yeah.
You know, with him like interacting with Black Cat, with him trying to do college stuff, with him trying to be Spider-Man all at the same time. I definitely think that would be cool. It just really sucks because we have years of established lore of this version of Spider-Man, like this
Right.
MCU Spider-Man, and you've effectively deleted all that. I don't understand. I don't understand where they think that would have made fans happy because certainly like I'm not happy and this isn't even my favorite Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Um. So the thing is that like for me, it's just sort of like, okay, so they were. I was so excited if they were going to like bring like the X-Men into the like it would have affected things like you know what I mean
Mhm.
like they would have had other characters that came through and it teased that but it didn't give it to you, you know, for fuck's sakes. It I think that's really all I want right now is I'm like I want a new X-Men. I want to figure out like who's gonna play that, you know, because I want to do more world building, which they're doing right now. But you know, um, I hope Multiverse of Madness does something where like we can get like Wolverine in there with like you know, uh, I don't know, Spoderman like this Spider Man or
Mhm.
you know because the X Men like really those movies kind of suck. And
I like X1. I like X2. I
yeah,
like First Class. Days of Future Past is decent. Every other movie in that franchise is either bad or just boring to bad.
well,
So yeah,
the,
I don't know. There's a lot like I except for Logan. Logan's great. Don't touch Logan. But yeah, that it's
I don't okay, so my problem is that like how they okay, so how they handled Wolverine and how they handled a lot of the characters like Cyclops. And like they made everyone hate Cyclops because of those movies.
well, I mean, yeah, Cyclops was also kind of treated shittily in the 90s cartoon too. Like I think Cyclops only ever gets to shine in the comics and even then it's kind of like
Well,
sometimes.
I mean I liked his whole storyline where he's like he's fighting against the X-Men and he, you know, he isn't
Yeah, no, the after Schism when they split up and
yeah.
Cyclops has his team, Wolverine has his team. Yeah, that was kind of cool. That was kind of interesting. As I said, Cyclops definitely works better as a bad boy than he does as the straight laced dude because of reasons I don't know. Um,
I would, but what I'm saying is like I would want to see them flesh out those characters, but instead they're like, oh yeah, you know who's real fucking popular? Wolverine. Let's put him in everything.
I mean, he is real fucking popular. It ignoring that would be ignoring reality.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean,
that's right.
there's kind of there is an oversaturation of Wolverine in the live action X-Men
Yeah,
franchise. I totally agree with you there.
he's not even Wolverine isn't over 6 feet. He's 5'7", and
Yep.
he's not Hugh Jackman. He's like
No.
he, that's what I'm saying is like they didn't do that right. They fucked up Gambit. They you know they fucked up
Oh boy, did they fuck up Gambit.
you
Dude,
know
I remember Channing Tatum was lobbying for the longest time to try to get a Gambit movie made, and I'm like, bro,
by
like
him.
at a certain point, don't you shouldn't even want it anymore. Their franchise has been so fucked up.
Like they did Colossus all right with you know I think they nailed Colossus with
Deadpool,
Deadpool. Yeah.
100% agree. Yeah.
But you know like and Deadpool was doing things like honestly. Um And I
Although
actually,
I think Deadpool 2 falls right back into that hole of being a tropey movie though. Deadpool 1 is a gem. Deadpool
yeah,
2 is just kind of a standard action movie. Like to me it has almost none of the charm the first one had.
Deadpool 2 really wants to be Deadpool 1, but
But it wasn't.
it'll never be that. That movie was
Yeah,
Deadpool 1 was great.
Deadpool 1 was great. Deadpool 2 just felt like a soulless Hollywood rehash of Deadpool 1.
Yeah, and like ending kind of sucked, and it was like all based around that stupid fat kid, and like, um, Cable. I
Yeah, it just wasn't good.
it, but anyway, like I just basically my problem is I want to see them handled like the X-Men, because Marvel, the MCU does so well with handling like a lot of those characters that you wouldn't
Yeah,
care about, and they could make you care about a lot of these X-Men in a way that would make them popular again. And even the
but
Fantastic
is it
Four.
Marvel that does that, or is it good writing that does that? You know what I mean? I think in general, just the superhero genre was so starved for good writing
Mhm.
that like we give Marvel more credit than it probably is due, because
Well,
even some of their movies have had kind of shitty writing. But we just kind of give them a pass because it's like, oh, it's okay, it's
like
passable.
I mean, I think most of their movies are good.
I
Um,
don't know. There's some of the movies that I went into wanting to like, and I'm just like, this is just okay. Like it's not bad. It's like I think very few of their movies fall into the realm of bad. And even when they're bad, they're like
they're good.
they're bad they're bad in the way that most movies aren't. Like Avengers 2. I don't like Avengers 2.
Yeah,
Avengers
no,
2 is a watchable movie.
yeah, it's
I don't
watchable.
like it.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Uh it's like what's it called? Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, to me, I don't like that movie.
It's
I
really
think there
boring.
was a good movie in there. I think
Yeah,
they should have changed the order of some of the events.
it was really
But
boring.
yeah, it was just kind of boring. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, compare even their bad movies to like Venom, and you're like, okay, yeah, like there's a difference. There's a clear difference. Like, there's a difference between just not being that great and just being a hateable movie, which
Well,
Venom is in a sense. Like,
I think it's just because of like that's the remnants of like 20th Century Fox and
yeah,
their hold on those characters. Basically, I want to see them get away from Fox, like, and have in Sony, even if possible. Because I obviously the only
well,
reason
I mean
this
that's kind of what I'm saying. I'm saying that like Marvel has, for whatever reason, Marvel has the secret formula where
yeah,
like even when they're not good movies, are good movies.
Thor
You know
2.
what I mean? In a sense, like they're watchable.
Hmm.
Whereas like a lot of other movie studios just haven't figured out how to make a competent for a superhero movie.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't have the formula. Sony doesn't have the formula. Venom 1 and 2 are just trash.
They're
Uh,
you know what? I
Fox
kind of enjoy
Fox is
Venom
hit or
1.
miss. Yeah,
Not gonna lie, but yeah,
yeah.
uh,
There are funny parts about Venom 1, like certainly better than Venom 2. I certainly enjoyed it more, but it's still basically a 2000 superhero movie. Like the franchise formula hasn't
there's
evolved.
just something off about Eddie Brock. There's just something not
Yeah,
right about him. Like I can't put my finger on it,
yeah.
but um,
Dude,
like,
he's a himbo, bro. He's certified himbo status.
well, he's a report. He's a smart guy. He's a reporter, but
No,
like,
no, but but you could be smart and be dumb at the same time, and that's kind of what his character is. Like
okay,
his character is like smart in his job,
yes,
but like he's
in
kind
his
of a schlub.
life. He's
Yeah,
he's he's not very like good at life skill stuff.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
which makes sense. Okay, and like, and but okay, so like the other thing I don't like about it is like, Eddie Brock is in San Francisco, and it's like I don't I don't like that. He should be in New York, and I don't know why he isn't. Is I think it's because they didn't know whether or not he was going to be a part of the MCU or not. I think they kind of tried to like make it as distant as possible, but kind of make it adjacent, you know?
yeah.
Um, I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of like, I don't think Venom is a funny character. Like, I think Eddie Brock needs to start off as a villain. I really think that, would do him better. But
I have zero opinion on that. I don't. It's not to me what I don't dislike Venom 1 for that reason. I just think it could have been a better written movie. But to me, it's infinitely more watchable than Venom 2, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, I don't know, man. As I said, I think Marvel, for whatever reason, Marvel figured out the formula.
Yeah.
And other companies haven't, and it's kind of sad because I'm like all it takes is a competently written story that balances a little bit of humor
Hmm.
and a little bit of seriousness, a little bit of action. And I guess to treat your characters sincerely, like they're actually part of a universe or actually part of a world.
Hmm.
And I feel like a lot of the other studios, even DC, haven't figured that out yet. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
as someone who like got into the DC movies late.
Like, what are the good DC movies? I'm trying to think. All that comes to mind are Wonder Woman 1,
Hmm.
not Wonder Woman 2, just Wonder
No.
Woman 1,
Yeah.
Aquaman 1.
Yep.
Haven't seen the second one yet because it hasn't
Well,
come out.
doesn't get.
Um, and honestly, that's almost it. Like, all the other movies are problematic in a sense. Like, Man of Steel, okay, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about Justice League. It's just like, ugh. It's just bland. That movie's just bland.
Yeah,
It's
it's very
almost
bland.
Avengers 2
Yep.
level movie. It's just bland. Snyder Cut's just too damn long. Yeah,
Yes.
sure. If it had been shorter, it would have been easily a better movie than Avengers. The not Avengers. The Joss Whedon Justice League, but it's way too long. And shit, there's never been a solo Batman movie, has there?
Yeah,
Like,
there
because
has.
there has. What was it?
Batman? Oh, not with Batfleck, if that's what you're
Yeah,
asking.
that's what I'm saying. There hasn't been a solo Batfleck movie, so yeah, I can't even give the Batfleck his own one.
Um,
Which I honestly liked. I liked Batfleck. I thought he was cool, especially in all of his appearances in movies are cool. It's just
I don't
he
like
has.
Batfleck.
You don't like Batfleck, really?
No. I think I think like Batfleck is like it's not I don't think it's Ben Affleck's fault. I think it's just shitty writing. And
Yeah.
like, like they fight each other over the Martha
And Batman vs
thing
Superman, yeah,
and yeah,
The Martha thing was silly. It
the Martha
wasn't
thing
it
was
wasn't bad. It was just silly. It
fucking
was like,
dumb.
okay, so you're bonding over the fact that your mother's name is Martha. Like, who is the fucking coked out fucking writer in the writers' room one day that had the epiphany that like both their names are Martha? We can use this.
Shit,
It's just
perfect.
like what? It's not that dumb. It's not.
Yeah, it's
it's
not that profound.
it's not that profound, guy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not that deep.
Yeah, yeah. And what was
Like
it
shit.
like when Batman's like, "Do you bleed?" and like
Yeah.
shit like that, or like him using guns and
Yeah.
like
Edgy for no reason.
what's that?
Edgy for no reason.
Yeah, he's just super edgy, and
Yeah.
it doesn't he doesn't need to be he just needs to be a good Batman. I don't I think the problem is that with this Batman, you didn't get to see Bruce Wayne. Um I think that's the big problem with
What do you
Batfleck.
mean?
Like Batman isn't about Batman. Batman is about Bruce Wayne. And like it's not it's about like his um the individual, you know what I mean? And
Well,
like
I guess I'm not seeing exactly what you're seeing, but in my mind, what you're saying
so
is
the
that like
only thing
you don't get to see you don't get to see the human side of Bruce Wayne. You only get to see
yes,
the caricature side of Bruce
you
Wayne.
see yes, you do see Bruce Wayne and like but they never have time to completely flesh him out.
Yeah.
Like most of the time he what you remember from Ben Affleck is him being uh Batman. Like he shows up,
Hmm.
he does a bunch of Batman shit, kicks ass, and like super edgy. But you don't know why that this Batman is so edgy. Like he's
Hmm.
just edgy. You know what I mean? And so that's what I was saying. Like it's about if he had his like own standalone movie, maybe that would be that would help things. But you know,
Hmm.
obviously,
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. You never get to see him. You never get to see the human version of Bruce Wayne. You never get to see the kid that's still dealing with the trauma of losing his parents.
well,
You only see the adult that's overcompensating.
he's also
Uh,
the like the older like oldest like version of Bruce Wayne I think we've gotten
yeah, agreed.
and they could have done more with that But
Yeah, agreed.
um, but I will say, like, man, there's the DC movies are rough, like especially like Suicide Squad, and then
The
um,
Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad.
the,
I actually liked the James Gunn one.
yeah,
I don't think it replaces the new one because it's an entirely different story, or the original one. But
yeah,
I really did enjoy the James Gunn one, just because it was dumb fun, not because it was an amazing movie.
oh,
But
yeah. No, but it was good. I
yeah,
mean, I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't think it was particularly amazing, but I do think it was a good
honest,
movie.
yeah, honestly, I kind of like, as weird as this to say, I kind of even like the original,
Oh yeah, I
like
like the
because
original.
yeah, the characters are super enjoyable. Like
Yeah,
Will Smith, super enjoyable.
yeah,
Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, super enjoyable.
yeah, she nails it.
Uh, yeah, a lot of the other stuff in that movie is super fun. It's just I think that movie just kind of drops the ball on kind of the overall tone. Some of the dialogue and the ending was a little like, okay, really? Like the villain was just jobbing the whole time. Like she barely even tried.
Yeah,
But I mean that even that movie has good things about it, as much as people want to hate it. That
yeah.
movie has a bomb ass soundtrack too. The soundtrack is fire.
It's really not as bad as I think
People
people make
people
it
say,
out to
"Oh
be.
yeah." People. The internet loves to get into hate circle jerks about things and say each new thing that comes out that's not perfect is the new worst thing
Yeah,
since ever. Which I'm just like, no, it's not that bad. It's got problems. Otherwise, we're gonna be talking about it. But it's
yeah,
not nearly as bad as how you're describing it.
yep,
Um,
yeah. I agree.
which which is just that's kind of a true internet truism. Like, a thing is almost never as bad as the internet describes it as.
Yeah, and like that's why I've now just decided to start watching like anything that's like people are like, oh, bad. Well, I'll decide for myself. I'll watch the movie.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so
Like I know we were going to talk about Eternals today, which I'm just like, Eternals had problems. It definitely kind of suffered from a problem of
oh,
like
I liked it
having a
though.
no. I liked it too,
Yeah,
but the
it's a good
internet
movie.
kind of hated it, which I'm just like, like I see where you're coming from, and I understand describing the problems you describe.
Hmm. Yo, I think you cut out. Do 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 do. Oh, you cut out there.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying that some people on the internet aren't able to, see the forest from the trees as to what doesn't make a competent movie. Because
So
Eternals was fine.
like I could like I think like it had that damn like the wokeness thing like that people get angry about a lot that like they tried to claim that the movie was trying to do, but I don't think it was trying to do that at all. And
Yeah,
I didn't feel
dude,
like
so like that is the most fucking that is saying something is woke is the single most it's even more virtue signaling than the fucking virtue signaling of being woke. Like it's reverse virtue signaling. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, did you see that fucking idiot? Um, that his Twitter posts are going around where they released just a screenshot of the new uh Jurassic Park, and it was
Oh
just
yeah, where people
it
get
was
mad
literally
because there was a
just
black woman in it.
yeah, no, it was literally like no trailer,
There's
no story, just
there's
Chris Pratt next to a black actress, and dude's already freaking out about a movie being woke. I'm like,
yeah,
so your version of not being woke is just no black people? Is what you're
pretty
saying?
much, yeah, yeah. Well, real woke, man.
Like it was the most ridiculous thing I think I'd ever heard. I'm like, so wait, are you just saying like you don't want to see any black people in movies?
I
And then
mean,
of course, if you
yeah.
ask him, he's like, no, that's not what he's saying. But that's exactly what he's saying.
Yes, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's really absurd, but I mean, like, I think honestly, this is probably
Yeah.
one of the more mature Marvel movies.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. It easily felt like the most adult Marvel movie in terms of storyline and subject matter.
It
And
tackled some like serious shit.
it was one of the only Marvel movies I've ever seen that like there was no clear answer on what the best course of action
Yep,
was.
yeah, that's
Like
true.
it was one of the only Marvel movies that ever made you think like, okay, it's not a like you can make arguments either way, but like it's not a clear like good versus evil debate here. It's a what like needs of the many versus needs of the few, maybe. It was definitely more of a gray area Marvel movie than it was like a stereotypical like villain versus hero kind of story.
Right. I mean, like, and not only that, but it's like there's like the whole like the idea that they're they're just people, and they're just
Yep.
there to like. Okay, so first of all, like some of the stuff doesn't make any sense about the whole population shit, but
Hmm.
um but yeah, I agree. And the idea of them like tackling like genocide like through
Yeah.
history books, and
Yeah.
how they don't like it, and of course they don't. And
Yeah.
uh like how they don't, I don't know, they don't like, they can't fast forward time by using technology. I think they just did that because like it would just put it would just leave a gap in like it obviously they couldn't make shit up,
Hmm.
um but yeah, no, I don't think there was necessarily a right answer. The only answer they had was like, well, we've been here this long.
Yeah.
It's what
We're
it
invested. We're invested in this planet now. We can't
yeah,
just let it be destroyed. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Which, but like, yeah, I guess it was a lot more of a.
You're cut out
It
again.
was a lot more of a kind of like let your feelings guide you to the right decision movie than a. Oh, am I still there?
Yeah,
Can you
you're
hear me?
good. You're good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot more of a like let your feelings guide you to the right decision movie than a let logic guide you to the right decision movie,
Hmm.
which I kind of respected because it added more nuance to the story. But yeah, no, I liked it. I think like I totally agree where a lot like I was rewatching the pitch meeting video on it.
Hmm.
And I was like I totally agree with some of the arguments people made that it was like, yeah, you probably could have done this better as like a mini series on Disney Plus than a
Oh yeah,
movie.
totally.
But at the same time, like it wasn't the worst movie in the world. I
No,
still kind of enjoyed it.
they did a good
Um,
job.
I was a little mad at how the sub story with the one deviant that had been like gaining intelligence kind of went nowhere at the end. Like I definitely think
Yeah.
that I definitely think they should have wrote that so he escaped and he showed up in a later movie.
Well,
But I mean, it is what it is.
with that, it was almost like, oh well, are these bad guys really bad, or or
Yeah,
are they just like in the wrong situation? And it's
yeah,
like,
yeah. That could have been used a lot better. I
and
think that's the one kind of plot point I think they dropped the ball on.
it was like he's like, oh, I just wanna like suck out your powers and become more human, and then
Yep.
I don't know where that was go. What the fuck was that going? It was
I
just,
don't know. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I think they could have used. I think that
you cut out again. God damn it. Are you there? Puking string died. Yo, August.
hello.
Hey, 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 hey. What's up?
Hey, I had to unplug my headset. I don't know if that's okay.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's gonna echo in here now.
I'll try plugging it in, but I don't know what's going on. Hold
Is
on.
is the mic? Do you have to? You don't have to use that mic. You can switch microphones in settings. Like, I think if you go into settings and then you
Yeah, what's up?
go to settings, go to voice and video, and then you can choose what input device you want. So you can choose the microphone you want to use.
But can you hear me right now, though?
I can hear you.
Okay. So as long as it's not echoing, we're gonna go with it. And if it starts fucking up again, I'll try to fix it.
All right, it's fine. But yeah, no, I thought like not only that, but like I don't know. I think the fact that like people were upset that there were just different people of color and there was like somebody gay there, and like like
Which I'm like, I again, I don't understand because like,
it doesn't.
what is the reverse argument to wokeness? Are you just saying like, okay, let's ignore those people because they don't exist? I'm like, well, clearly they do. So I don't know what the point is. Like, gay people exist, short people exist,
Yeah.
midget people exist. Like, I don't what like. It
Yeah.
seems so stupid to me. I don't understand.
And
Like,
then, well, there was also like the idea that that woman was like going crazy, or Angelina Jolie's character, that kind of like
yeah,
didn't make any fucking sense.
yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, you have too many ideas. If you
Well,
could,
no, it's like the way they explained it was basically like these people have been around for millions of years, and
Mhm.
their brains just keep getting reset because they're basically they're not giant androids. They're basically androids.
Yeah, they're
But
basically
I guess
androids.
if your brain doesn't get reset properly and you retain memories, then eventually your brain overloads, which I guess makes sense at a theoretical level. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of weird. I don't know. Like, I didn't hate it. I got it, but I'm like, yeah, you guys could have just you guys could have explained that a little better.
Yeah, and
And
like,
the name for it was the dumbest thing ever. Like, the Mad Weary. Like, what
uh,
like, really?
oh, was that the name of
That's the
the?
name for the disease. Yeah, it's called the Mad Weary. Like,
Oh
how do you say
yeah,
that with a straight face? That sounds retired. It sounds really stupid. Excuse me.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of what else really did it. Like, why did they need? Oh, never mind. Yeah, because they had to have those guys around. So the deviants is what they're called, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is like really close to variant, and like that kind of, I don't know, that kind of messed with my
Yeah.
head a little bit, but
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
um, I don't know. I don't understand. Like, they're like, oh, should we use our powers for good or evil? And then,
Yeah.
like, one dude's basically a cult leader.
Yeah, well, because his power is mind control, which again is a super problematic power. That I was really surprised that the dude who had it wasn't the bad guy. Because I think even in the trailers they
Yeah,
were framing it that he was going to be the bad guy. And he
I
was
thought he
like,
was gonna be the bad
no,
guy
he
for
he
sure.
was actually just a nice dude. He's a nice dude with mind control powers. It's kind of weird.
So I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure. Like, if like the Superman character
Mhm.
really needed to fly into the sun at the end too.
I mean, I don't think he did either, but it was a good way to write his character out of the story.
I mean, yeah,
uh,
yeah. They literally, I can't
uh,
believe they call him Superman. Like,
well, I mean, that was kind of a funny in joke, but his powers are very similar.
yes.
But yeah, no, Icarus. Yeah, interestingly complex character. I don't know if I agree with. I don't know if I agree with the logical leap his character made to commit suicide at the end, but like, I guess.
Well,
I
I
mean, they didn't
can't.
really, they didn't really foreshadow any of that at all, but I
Yeah,
guess.
like
Yeah.
I don't really know why he had to kill Selma Hayek in the movie too. Like it didn't. I didn't. I'm not.
Because he didn't want her to tell them the truth about what really happens to the Earth if the what's his name is born or whatever. The Celestial.
Yeah. Even though if he just killed them all, that would have. I
Well,
mean,
he didn't want to kill them all. They were his only friends for like what 10, 20,000 years, however long he'd been there.
yeah, but he's not going to remember them. So I mean, I don't know. He's like, remember how he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll see you in the reset Earth. I hope we get to know each other or something."
Yeah,
And then, but so
I don't know.
like,
He still felt bad. That's why they were
well,
still his friends.
I think really
He
the
didn't
only reason he didn't kill everyone was because of his love interest.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I agree with that statement. Yeah,
Um, and then I was kind of like thinking that like Jon Snow's character was kind of fucking pointless. Uh,
he
besides like,
was, but apparently he has that after credit scene, and he's probably gonna show up later.
yeah,
And apparently that's Blade talking to him in the after credit scene, which is another weird layer to this movie. I don't know if that needed, but it's interesting.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. In Multiverse of Madness, Blade, like Wesley Snipes' Blade, is supposedly going to be in there too.
Yeah.
Um, and who? Oh, there was somebody else. Shit. I don't know. Anyway, but they were gonna add like a couple of other cameos, basically just cameos.
The only cameo I want back is Nick Cage Ghost Rider. Fucking love that movie. It's so dumb but fun.
Oh man, they could they could have a cameo of that. That would be
Yeah,
dope. Just Nick Caging it up
yeah.
somehow.
That's all I want. All I want to see.
Just wants that Marvel money, man.
Yup. All I want to see is Nick Cage caging it up.
Um,
I think that and Constantine are my two favorite like random actor picked for a role but fit perfectly movies. Because
yeah,
Keanu Reeves was great for Constantine.
yep.
And Nick Cage was great for Ghost Rider. Like they're just two amazing casting choices.
Um, I don't. Did you hear that? Keanu Reeves said he would want to play
Yeah, yeah, he
Constantine
wants
again.
to do another Constantine. Like no one's he's legitimately said he's tried and no one's taken him up on it. But yeah, I'd love him back as Constantine too. That movie's fun as shit.
Yeah, Constantine 1 is great. I saw that in
It's
theaters.
amazing. It's not even just him. Like the entire cast is amazing.
Yeah, it
Like
was a good movie.
the person who plays the angel,
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton. She's great. She's great as a duplicitous angel.
Yep.
The guy who plays the devil, who I can't remember his name either right now, but
The dude who I mean, Godbrand voice actor. Uh,
yeah,
I know who you're talking about. Lebowski, we're gonna cut off your Johnson guy. Uh, anyway, yeah, the B-Dub dude. He's just a big
yeah,
old character actor. Anyway,
yeah. Yeah, no, it was that movie's amazing. That movie's amazingly
yeah.
casted. Even Shia LaBeouf randomly, just fun.
Oh
Just a fun
yeah,
movie.
I forgot Shia LaBeouf's in that movie.
Yep. Yep.
Um, wasn't he? He was like a minor character, right?
Yeah, yeah, he was like his like young sidekick.
That's right. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, that movie's fun as shit.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I remember like I loved the ending, and then
Yeah.
I got really excited, and I talked to my dad about it. I was like, Dad, I hope they make a sequel, and he's like, I don't think there's gonna be a sequel, and he
And he was right.
and he was right, and I
Oh,
don't know how he guessed. He was always like
very
really
sad.
good at
Yeah.
like guessing whether something's gonna have a sequel or not,
Yeah.
and he's usually right. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that bums me out. That was such a fun movie too.
Yeah. Um, but I think okay, but overall, I did enjoy.
Like
Uh,
we should do like a best superhero movies of the 2000s
oh
ranking video
man,
one day. That'd be fun.
Catwoman's at the top.
Oh, hell yeah. Shit. I can't even think of one worse than Catwoman right now. Yeah, Catwoman should be at the top.
What's up, afternoon tune? How you doing, man? Yo, hydrate.
But Catwoman. Oh god, Catwoman was so bad.
Yeah,
Or
Catwoman is terrible.
Batman versus Robin, the George Clooney one with the fucking
Oh yeah.
bat nipples and the fucking ice to meet you. Oh god, that movie's cheesy. I can like last time I tried to watch that movie, I made it 5 minutes and had to shut it off. I'm like, I can't do it.
It's definitely not good. Do I play DBZ Fighters? No, I mean I have it, but I don't really play it. Um, I mostly have it just to like play with friends, but I don't
Yeah,
really know any of the characters.
that game until that game gets good net code, it's better local.
Yeah, I mean, like if it gets rollback at some point, I will actually give it a shot. I still can't believe people are playing that game online now.
I can't
Um,
either. I watch tournaments. I'm like, why? How?
it,
Why would you do this to yourself?
yeah, just it looks like the frame rate shits itself once it goes online. Um, but I mean, I also play Tekken, and a lot of people say that that sucks. But I've honestly have never had any issues with Tekken online. Um, but yeah, man. Let me think. So, but yeah, I did enjoy the Eternals. I did
Yeah,
like it. I
I did
also
too. I did too. As I said, I think it was one of the most mature movies in the Marvel catalog at this point.
oh yeah, I
Just
agree.
because it had a subject matter, it had a story matter, and a story that just wasn't your typical like.
Oh boy, you cut out again. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I need to play some music like when August cuts out or there's any kind of awkward silence. I think that's what I'm gonna do now. Is I'm
Am I
just gonna
back?
yeah. Yeah, you're
God
back.
damn it. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the headphones. Who knows?
It's cool. But yeah, yeah, definitely did try to tackle some more serious matters, like the whole genocidal
Yeah.
history that we
Yep.
have. Um, but I
You
don't
know,
know.
I liked it. I liked it. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I liked it.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't think it was
Speaking
that
of
bad at all.
movies that people didn't like, what I liked lately. What? Oh yeah. Okay. Well, we'll do. Do you want to do a review on Don't Look Up? I want to do like. I kind of want to do a review on Don't Look Up eventually, but I'm not sure if you've seen it yet.
I haven't seen it now.
Okay, I have seen the middle and the end. I haven't seen the beginning, but
Mhm.
we should definitely watch and do a review on that because that movie is a trip. Let me tell you.
Yeah, here it's
But
really divisive.
yeah, it is, which is why I wanted to talk about it because a lot of the critics didn't like it because the message kind of hits you over the head with a sledgehammer. But I think that was kind of the point of the movie is that a sledgehammer might be needed at this point because
Yeah,
people aren't seeming to get it.
yeah.
But yeah, no, we should watch that both and do a review on it at some point. But it doesn't have to be now. I just want to talk about it at some future date.
We could probably
Um,
do it like next Sunday or something.
yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. What else? So other things I want to talk about. Have you seen any of the Scream movies? I love the Scream franchise. So
Um,
personally,
when
like I
I
want to talk a little bit about that because the new one just came out this past weekend. I haven't seen it yet, but I will see it soon.
so when I was a kid, like I
Yeah.
used to not like scary movies,
Yep.
and
Same.
at it because I used to get really scared, and like I used to have like brothers and sisters and cousins or something that would like force me to watch them.
Yep.
And as a result, I had like nightmares and stuff, and I wound
Mhm.
up being more scared of like of like horror movies than I should have been instead of like
Mhm.
easing my way into it. But anyway, yeah, the Scream movies were the first movies that I actually saw, the horror movies, as a kid, and I was like, I liked this. This was cool.
Yeah.
And I think I saw like up until Scream 4. Was
Yeah,
Scream
that's
4?
all there is so far. Yeah.
Um,
The new one that just came out is Scream 5, so yeah.
yeah, I think I saw up to Scream 4, and I saw them as they came out. But I always really liked them. Um,
Yeah, no, they're great. I love them. First time I saw them, I thought they were hilarious because they're basically like a great parody slash meta analysis of horror movies inside a competent horror movie, which is I think it's very rare that you get a competent parody that's also in it itself the thing it is.
well, I mean,
Um,
wasn't that like that was like Wes Craven's joint, right? And
yeah,
like
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
he oh yeah. So I mean, I think sort of he's like a grandfather of horror in general. It's kind of amazing that he reinvented it again later on in the 90s. But
Yeah, so and that's what I'm saying. Like I think that's another reason why the scary movies took off so quick is because the first scary movie in and of itself is a parody of Scream
yes.
1,
Yeah.
which I think is also hilarious because Scream 1 is a parody of horror movies. So they parodied a parody and yet it was absolutely hilarious. And I think Scary Movie 1 and 2 are easily still among the best of the scary movies. Um,
Yeah, I can't I can't watch them anymore.
yeah.
Unfortunately, like I can't enjoy them.
Have you seen them too many times or?
No, I just like I kind of like find them cringe now. But
Yeah, I can
um
see that.
also there's like a lot of the jokes are fucking dated, and
Yeah.
it's like there's like they really dated a lot of those jokes, like um and most of it's
Yeah,
just like
that scene in Scary Movie 2 where they make fun of like the Nike basketball commercial or whatever where they're all like dribbling or
yeah,
whatever.
who the
That's
fuck's
super
gonna
fucking great.
remember that? Yeah, like no one's gonna remember that, dude. That's so
Yeah.
specific. That's so incredibly
It's so
specific.
specific. You're right. Like it's like one of those things where like in the future there's gonna need to be like a fucking like VH1 pop out video where there's like a reference to the reference of the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but there was like a bunch of stuff like that, and even like the "What's Up" thing that they did,
Yeah.
because like from the Mountain Dew commercial, like what,
Yep.
like I don't know. I think people remember it more from that movie than they. I mean, they're not gonna
They
remember
do.
them.
I think there's definitely people out there that don't even remember the original commercial, but
Yeah,
remember that scene. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I barely like that. That's for some reason I have that memory, and my brain didn't throw it out. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I really enjoyed the Scream movies. I think Scream 4 was like pretty meh, but one
Yeah.
through I think one, two, and well, 2 and 3 are pretty good, if
Yeah.
I remember correctly. And I think they actually have
Yeah.
like a Scream TV show as well.
There it is. I don't know if it's in the exact same universe, but yeah, no, it is on Netflix. I watched like the first couple episodes. It wasn't bad. They still get the same guy who does the voice of Ghostface back, which is awesome because he's the only person I ever want to hear voicing Ghostface.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I'm very excited to see the new one because I like all of them. Like even 4, which isn't as popular as the first 3, I still enjoyed. So I definitely plan on checking that out in the future. I don't know when I'll get to the theaters because that's the only place it is right now, but it'll be
That's it.
sometime. I
It's only theaters right now.
think it's only theaters right now. Yeah.
Also, Pancake Jams. Yeah, if you wanna come in and do a review with us, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah.
We can do. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna do it next Sunday, but I mean, I think we still have like the Matrix we haven't touched upon either.
Yeah, we have the
Uh,
Matrix. We have Don't Look Up, but like probably maybe sometime at the end of the month. Well, end of the month is almost here. But yeah, no, sometime in the next like 3 weeks, we'll probably do a review of it as long as like we can go out to theaters and see it or whatever. I don't think there are any good copies online yet anywhere else, but I could be
yeah.
wrong about that.
Um,
But yeah, no, we like having people hop on and do reviews with us. So
for sure, man. But yeah, no, I'd be down to review that movie, and hell, I would even do like reviews. I would rewatch the first 4 movies.
yeah,
If
yeah,
that's
no,
something you want to
what's it
do.
called? Double Toasted just did a re-review of Scream 1. So I'd certainly love to do a review of Scream 1, 2, and 3 with you, or at least Scream 1 and 2.
Yeah, I would.
Um,
I mean, for me, like whenever we do these reviews, or anytime we've reviewed a movie, I've actually usually gone back and tried to watch like like the entire series before we did. But
yeah,
yeah, I know that's not
part of
always
me wanted
reasonable
to
for
do
other
that for the
people.
Matrix, but man, I have zero desire to see
Yeah, I don't.
to see 2 and 3 again. Like I rewatched 1. I rewatched 1. I did. I
Yeah,
rewatched 1 2 weeks ago. 1 is still amazing. Still an amazing movie. I just as soon as I finish 1, I'm like, I know where this goes, and I don't want to go there.
yeah. I mean,
It was
like,
just like, oh, this is the best it's ever gonna feel. Like
man,
I don't need any more. I don't need any more Matrix. I can literally just watch the action scenes on YouTube and be okay. Like I
yeah.
don't.
Like, I think if okay, so the only thing that the second one, like Reloaded, had was the action. It had that
Yeah,
going for it. It was an
yeah,
amazing action movie,
100%.
and but the dialogue is just atrocious. And
Yes.
then and then the third one didn't even really have action going for it. The action sucked in that movie, besides like
Yep.
one fight that was
Yep.
good. But the Agent Smith fight wasn't like, it wasn't cool. I didn't enjoy
Nope.
it. I thought it was just
Yep.
super dumb,
Yep.
and the I just don't like the ending to Matrix.
I don't think
Uh,
anybody does. I
yeah,
don't think anybody does.
and I feel like the what I know about Resurrections is it really doesn't fix. It doesn't make me confident in a new Matrix trilogy if there's gonna
Yeah,
be one.
like that's what I'm saying. Like this just feels like maybe the Wachowskis had no other choice. Maybe like if they wouldn't have done it, someone else wouldn't have done it. Would have done
Yeah,
it because WB has the rights.
yeah. There's
Uh,
a joke in the movie that it's like, well, if we don't make the Matrix, then someone else will do it.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's when I was watching the CSB review of it, I was just like, yeah, no, this movie is super on the nose about how the fact that the people making it didn't want to make it,
it's
which
basically
I
a
find
parody
hilarious.
of the first Matrix movie.
Yeah,
Kind of like Scary Movie in a way, but
yeah,
well, not really, but you know what I mean. It
yeah. But at the same time, it's just
like, remember how much better the first movie was, guys? Remember?
yeah,
Memby?
yeah. You remember? I remember. You remember?
I remember. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not like, but like just the new take that they took on it, and some of the, like, besides like them rehashing a lot of the plot, just I'm interested to see exactly how it plays out.
Yeah, no, as I said, I just like is said in the first Matrix, I want to see how deep the rabbit hole goes. but but
Yeah.
at the same time, I have like my desire to actually know how bad it gets is also kind of holding me back from it. So I'll
Rem-
watch it.
remember
It's just I haven't watched it yet.
remember the exciting Matrix politics?
I know, right? Ugh.
Why do like all like action movies like have to put in like political conversations of some kind? Like
So I'm confused. Like,
they
what do you
think
mean by
people
what do you mean by Matrix politics? Because now I'm confused.
so like you don't remember like Neo was friends with that like old dude who was a politician, and like Morpheus was like talking to the council like, yo, we got to believe in the one, and then other people are like, no, we don't believe in the one. You know,
Is this from 2 and 3? Because I don't remember
yes.
that being
Yes, it's from
one.
2 and 3. It's not in 1, but
Okay.
they one doesn't have politics. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it does the thing like where you know, like Star Wars Episode 1, like where they have like tons of the
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
where
yeah,
they
yeah. I
like
don't
the
know, man. I don't know. That was yeah. I couldn't even answer that for you if I wanted.
I'm just saying
But
like
yeah, no. As I said, I'll have to rewatch 2 and 3 at some point. It just won't be anytime soon. I'm gonna watch 4 before I even do that.
yeah, I mean
Uh,
I don't think you're missing out, and like I mean fuck, man, that I was just so disappointed as a kid. I can't tell you how excited I was to watch Reloaded. Oh no,
yeah.
Revolution. Is the third one Revolutions?
The third one's Revolution. Second one's Reloaded.
I can't tell you how excited I was to watch that movie. My
Yeah.
mom used to work at a movie like a rental place. It's called Captain Video, and actually, believe it or not, it used to exist like down the street from where I live right now, and
Yeah.
basically I would go, you know, I would during the summer, I would when I was with my mom, I would go, she would take me to the movie store, you know, to the rental place. So I would just sit down and watch movies all day. So like basically I would just go through, you know, all of the movies, and I'd be like, I want to watch this one, and then I'd go up and my mom would put it on the TV, like, you know how they have like movies in the back or whatever, like playing in the
Mm-hmm.
background. And that's how I was
Mm-hmm.
introduced to like a lot of like weird shit, like, you know, Real Steel, or you know, uh anyway,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
because of that, sorry, I had a point. So she got the preview copy with like, oh, like this is not meant for like, you know, commercial watching or something like that. um so I basically got to see the Matrix 3 early, yeah, before it came out on VHS, before it was even
Cool.
out, yeah. um
Yeah.
uh and so basically I was like so excited, and then I saw it, and then I was so sad by the way they ended it, that it just took all the hope from
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. You know, Reloaded and Revolutions are a travesty when you compare them to the kind of the introspective nature and intrigue of the first movie. But
Yeah, I think a big part of that too is like it's the mystery of the Matrix that like really makes it so interesting, because you know
yeah,
your imagination can run wild, and then you
yeah,
know once they expand upon it, it's like there's no longer like, it's like, oh, that's kind of lame, like this could have been a better, like your it's like reading a book, right? Like, and then watching a movie, it's like your mind probably made better like an idea of like what the movie did, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
uh
No, I agree. Yeah, no, the second and third movies are just nowhere near as intellectually stimulating as the first one.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's just like
yeah,
it asks very like open-ended philosophical questions that, I
yep.
mean, you can kind of like, oh, that's really interesting. Uh what was another movie that like did that recently that I was like watching?
I don't know. Inception, maybe. I don't know. I
uh
really liked Inception. Inception was one of my favorite movies the past 2 decades.
uh Inception. I, you know, honestly, I don't, I've seen it once and I didn't care for it.
Really?
Yeah, it's like that and Looper that people are like, oh, those movies are amazing. Um,
I don't agree about Looper. I just think Looper's okay.
yeah,
But
Looper's like a fucking just like to me, it's like a standard action movie. I feel like
Looper.
it,
Yeah, the sci-fi the sci-fi aspect of Looper is almost the least interesting aspect of Looper.
yeah. I mean, it's they don't. I mean, I think is that the same dude who made oh my god, what was that movie that came out?
So I don't care enough about Looper to know that
Okay,
answer.
I'm pretty
Whatever
sure it's
question you're asking, I don't care. I all I remember about Looper is Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Bruce Willis somehow is Joseph Gordon-Levitt, even though they look nothing alike.
yeah, they're the same person.
Yeah, and also time travel. And yeah, that was a dumb movie.
It's
I don't know. It just wasn't a good movie. Like I give them points for trying a sci-fi concept, but that movie just wasn't that interesting.
yeah. What was that movie that we went to go see that I like left during the beginning of during
Blade
the
Runner?
summer? No,
Was
during
it
the
Blade
summer.
Runner?
No, we didn't go see Blade Runner. It was with the black dude who's Denzel Washington's son.
Oh, Tenet.
Yeah, Tenet. I think it's the same
Yeah,
director. I think
Tenet was fun. I don't think it's his best work, but Tenet was fun.
I'm pretty sure. I think Tenet and Looper have the same director.
No. Tenet was directed by the same guy who did Inception. Tenet is a Nolan.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Christopher Nolan. Okay, it's Christopher. I'm mixing things up. So,
Yep.
but yeah, I agree. Damn it! What the hell were we? What the hell were we talking about? I had to get up and let the cat out, and I totally forgot.
Something about Looper and then The Matrix.
Oh,
Whether or not it's an interesting movie.
oh, right. Yeah, I couldn't remember the movie that, like the first one's great, and then once you kind of start elaborating on it, like the ideas aren't that good because they're mostly probably making the movie because they're like, "Oh yeah, this made a lot of money. Let's make another one for the money." And then, obviously the quality isn't as great as but honestly, I think one thing about The Matrix is that I don't think that they can make one of those movies now and have it be affordable. Like, like I know that this was actually The Matrix 4 was the most expensive Matrix.
Oh, was it?
Yes, it was the most expensive Matrix.
Didn't know it.
And the action and everything is sort of like more mediocre than the action and story is more mediocre than the other ones. So when you really think about it, it's like maybe they can't afford to make like a Matrix 2 or where there's like tons of action or
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
As I said, I think one of the big problems that went into Matrix 4 is it honestly didn't just want to be made. So, I mean, yeah, they're not going to put as much effort in as they put in the early movies anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, you raise an interesting question about modern movies and action set pieces and how a lot of the spectacle has gone down recently.
Yeah.
And with it, it's been replaced by just CG vomit everywhere.
Yeah. I think like I think it was like the Wachowski, like Lana Wachowski gave like the reason that her what was it, her friend and her parent, like a parent of hers died, and she's like and then for some reason she started like thinking about Neo and like old friends or whatever it may be. And then she's like she decided she wanted to make one, but honestly I think like they were like, oh yeah, the what is it, like the public domain of this is gonna run out, so we're just gonna make a fourth one.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's just what happened. And that was just an excuse to make another movie, but
yeah. Which is kind of a bummer because, like, I mean, no one wanted a new Matrix story. Let's be honest. You know what I mean?
Well, I was like, what?
Yeah, unless they're gonna do a full reboot, no one really needed any new Matrix. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You know what I would pay for though? I would pay money to see the Wachowskis do another anime adaptation because Speed Racer was off the chain.
Yeah, that movie's great.
My God, that movie was better than it had any right to be.
Yeah, I actually like what was a great channel is like FX.
Yes.
The old I don't have cable anymore, but
They have the movies, right? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, they do. That was their
That's
slogan.
their slogan, yeah.
But you basically, I would see a bunch of movies that like I didn't get a chance to see. I would watch it through there. Obviously
Yeah.
like Man of Steel. They had like District
I
9.
saw Dracula Untold on there. That was kind of fun.
What the fuck is that? I've never heard of that movie.
It was I don't even remember the studio. It was one of their like Paramount. That's probably wrong. It was some studio's attempt to get like a monster cinematic universe off the ground. There's one of the movies in that. It had Luke Evans play Dracula. It was kind of cool. Dracula was the good guy in this movie.
Oh, like have you ever seen? You should look up. Honestly, you should look up Gerard Butler's like audition for Dracula 2000. Let's see if I can.
I will have to do that.
Hold on. Let's see if I can find it.
Well, I mean, I would say just hit me in the Discord and I'll watch it later because my computer's acting up and right now like my screen is black, so I can't really do anything.
Right.
Watch stuff.
It's fine.
But yeah, no, Gerard Butler's great. I loved him in 300. I loved him in Law Abiding Citizen. I mean, he hasn't really done much action stuff lately, but he had a good run for a little bit back there.
But I think like other than like rewatching the Marvel movies, which by the way, a lot of them still like hold up. Like
yeah.
I didn't think I would enjoy them the second time. I don't know. A lot of times I don't rewatch movies.
Same.
Like I watch them once and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. I don't really want to see it again. But I meant to put it on in the background. Like I think I was watching Endgame. No, not Endgame, but Infinity War. And I was like, I'm just gonna put this on in the background, and then I just started watching it. And I didn't do what I was supposed to be doing. Like,
oh yeah,
that happened. And then like I watched that, and then I watched I think I like started with Doctor Strange, and I meant to put that on the background, and then I watched Doctor Strange. I don't know. Have you seen most of Daredevil?
All but season 3.
Yeah, is there a season 4?
No.
There's not a season 4?
No. I mean, that was before they got a chance to do any of that. Netflix and Marvel ended their contract, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's why like Charlie Cox was in God damn it. No Way Home. Yeah. Which he was great. I mean, I was excited to see him. I wish he was Daredevil, but like he would have
I think eventually he will be. They're doing a I don't know if you saw Hawkeye, but they're doing an Echo spin-off TV series, and he'll probably show up in that because Echo and Daredevil dated in the comics for a while. So,
which one's Echo?
Echo was the deaf lady with one leg.
Oh, okay, yeah. Man, I didn't really like the ending to Hawkeye.
I liked it. I don't think it was the best part of the movie, but I liked a lot of the fight scenes at the end.
Like I guess I think my biggest letdown is how they handled the Kingpin.
I was okay with it. I think it was dumb how, I mean, spoiler alert, that like, he got shot in the end, but I mean, if you're going exactly by that same storyline in the comics, he doesn't get killed when he gets shot, so he'll be back.
Right, but like even then, I didn't find him, like rewatching Daredevil, I did not find him as intimidating. Like he just, I don't know, he just didn't seem like an opposing figure, like to me, as he did, when he was slamming that dude's head in a car door. You know what I mean? It just like,
I think he was supposed to. Like, it was supposed to feel like as dark as Daredevil was, this wasn't supposed to be that. This was supposed to be kind of like a Die Hard style holiday adventure that wasn't that dark. You know what I mean? Like, like I think this was intentionally meant to be kind of a lighthearted, a more lighthearted Marvel series than a lot of the other ones.
Yeah. Damn it, dude. But I mean, I just sort of like,
Did
I
you
think
like
that was my
Hawkeye?
biggest.
Did you not like Hawkeye?
No,
I like.
I liked it overall. I did. That like I kind of wish there wasn't so much stuff about like Hawkeye having to find a place to stay, and being with those larpers or whatever. Like
Mhm.
I kind of feel like that didn't need to be in there. I wish there was a
I
bit.
mean, it kind of humanizes. Like Hawkeye is one of the most human Avengers, so
Yeah,
I kind of like that. This felt like one of the most human series.
yeah, that's true. He really doesn't get a lot of respect. And like everybody, even though he did like a lot of people say like he didn't do anything in the Avengers movies, but he did a lot.
Oh, he did a
Um,
ton.
yeah, he did a
As,
lot.
as, as much as much as a normal human could reasonably do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I never thought that he was like people make it out to be like he doesn't do anything, and I mean I don't agree. Um, Maybe they weren't really watching. The plot doesn't revolve around him, but he's still
Yeah.
keeping busy.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I did like Hawkeye. I thought it was good. I just like I it's always the endings with me that like it shapes a lot of the way I feel about a movie. Um,
Yep.
and like I was thinking that, the Kingpin was gonna be like a lot more intimidating and like maybe beat up on Hawkeye, but instead, he had to fight. Hawkeye. The fucking Hawkeye isn't even about Hawkeye. It's about the fucking the girl that Hawkeye's with. It's basically about her and her
Yeah, no,
family.
I liked that too. Though it was like basically the story of how he finds an adoptive daughter slash protege.
Yeah. Whenever he wants to retire from being Hawkeye,
Yeah.
uh, which I mean, I'm still surprised that he's doing those movies. But then again, I'm pretty sure he was like Jason Bourne in Bourne 4. So like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
think he's
god.
opposed to getting a paycheck.
Another franchise that went absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, like
People bitched about there being a new Jason Bourne.
so
Then they
much
went
so.
back and made a one with the old one. It was even worse than the one.
Oh, was it? I didn't even see
I
it.
did. I didn't like Jason Bourne 4 or whatever. I don't even know what
I
it
think it's
was.
like 5.
Yeah, technically it's the fifth one, but it was the reboot with not a reboot. It was the continuation with Matt Damon.
Yeah, where he's like
And
he's like shirtless or something. He's got like something on his fists. I think he's got his fist taped up or something like that.
it was an older Matt Damon, and it wasn't that good. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, okay. I was kind of expecting it. Like I remember it looked good in the trailer, but
Yeah, I didn't like it. I
okay.
think the first three movies are easily the best in that entire franchise.
Bro, I was watching. I don't like the Jason Bourne movies. I'm not.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like them because like once you watch the first one, you've seen the other two. They literally do the same shit for two more movies.
I wanna disagree with you, but I know where you're coming
It's
from.
so
I don't know.
fucking
I like them.
bad.
I like them. I didn't mind having more content in the Jason Bourne universe, but I do 100% see what you're saying.
Dude, they just do the same shit over and over. And that's why I was like, all right, I'm done with, like I wouldn't even give the other ones the time of day because I got through the second one and I'm like, this is the same movie. I feel like are you sure we're not watching the first one? But
Yeah.
maybe I need to watch it again. Maybe I'm being too uh harsh, or maybe I didn't pay enough attention. It has been a long time. Um
Yeah. Yeah, no, I liked them. I still liked them, but I do see what you're saying.
yeah, they're the same movie in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, did you
I,
see the new Ghostbusters?
I haven't yet. I've heard it's good, so I do need to get around to seeing it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. I thought
I'm moderately surprised how good I heard it was, but yeah, no, I haven't gotten around to seeing it yet. So
for me it was honestly it's one of the better continuations of like a
yep,
franchise that I've seen. Like
yep.
they really redeem themselves. Hold on, I gotta open the door for my cat. Hold on. It's basically like, yeah, I am totally down for them to make another sequel to that. I enjoyed it that much, you know.
What are we talking about?
Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah. I'll have to check it out. As I said, everything I've heard was that it was a good continuation. Which
it
I
was
really
yeah. It's like the best fourth movie I've ever seen. Like, you know, like continuing a series. Though they kind of act like the second movie doesn't happen, which is weird. I don't know why. But yeah, they kind of like skip over the second. I think they honestly forgot about the second movie.
So it's kind of a reboot of Ghostbusters 1 then?
Yeah, it is. It's like this is like Ghostbusters 2 is how they kind of act. Because there's like a moment where they could acknowledge the second one, but they just don't. Um, but yeah, it was a good movie. I really liked it. There's also like some cameos in there from some good actors too, that have like small parts, but that you wouldn't expect. They're not in the movie for very long, but um, but I really enjoyed that. What do you think? Was there anything else that I kind of been picking around in? No, man. I think that's most of what I've been watching. Was there anything else that like you wanted to touch upon? Because I know you said you had a list of things.
Yeah. Is my computer back to doing anything? Let's see if I can pull this up. Hey, I can. Okay. So yeah, I mean, this, as I said, we're definitely not post-pandemic, but it is cool to see movie theaters have tried to start opening back up. You know, as long as people are being smart, as long as people are being safe, I think that's not a bad thing. Fingers crossed, ish, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wear your masks at theaters, guys. You know, try not to sit too close. I don't know. It's nice to be able to like as someone who really likes movies, it's nice that we're getting new content again. That's what I'm going to say about it.
In words of the CDC, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there was a long gap there where we weren't getting any new content, and that kind of sucked. As a fan of movies, but
yeah,
it's cool that we're back to getting some new content. It was crazy how fast Spider-Man 3 made money, especially in a pandemic. Still, that was pretty nuts. Yeah. Of course, that was a little bit before Omicron started picking up again, so who knows what's gonna happen. There was a really stupid Saturday Night Live skit about it last night, where like the SNL Biden was basically saying that the new pandemic was spreading because people were going to go see Spider-Man, and that people should stop seeing Spider-Man.
Stop seeing Spider-Man, makes sense.
But only so he could go see Spider-Man because he hasn't seen it yet.
Dude, I also like, I hate the metric of like, this is the most popular movie post-pandemic. It's like, that doesn't mean, and that's not, you know, I don't feel like that's a good metric.
Yeah, there's so many asterisks to that statement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like
it's not even fully out of the pandemic. So many movie theaters actually went under during the pandemic. Like, so many asterisks to that statement.
I'm an Evo champion asterisk online tournament.
Dude, oh my god, they canceled the Capcom Cup again, bruh.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an online again.
No.
So like wait, like, what's his name? Shoot. What's his name? Who won it last time? Why is this coming to my mind? The guy who plays Laura. New York. IDOM.
Oh, IDOM, yeah.
Yeah, IDOM is like officially just gonna be the reigning champ of SF5. Because unless they're gonna delay SF6 one more year just to do one more tournament, like it's gotta be over at this point.
Yeah, it's like, well, what? I mean, doesn't the SF5 online suck as well? So it's like,
I mean, so no. So what they're gonna do is they're doing small regional online tournaments again.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're just gonna be playing other people in the U.S. on your coast, but at the same time, it's like okay, yeah, safety concerns are important. If they think it's the best for them not to have a Capcom Cup from all over the world, that's fine. I totally agree with them there.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm just sad because I wanted one more like end of the game Capcom Cup, and now we're not getting that. which is kind of a bummer.
Well, we still have time before Street Fighter 6, so I
I
don't
mean,
think.
do we? I thought Street Fighter 6 was going to be next year or this year.
So you have to think like usually they're gonna announce it and then it's gonna be quite some time before it comes out.
Mhm.
Just to like they're not gonna Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown it. They're not it's like, oh, Street Fighter 6 comes out next week. They're not
But
gonna do that.
I think the new meta, rather than waiting a year before announcing something and being out, is
Mhm.
that if you want to announce something, you're going to have it out within the same year. So usually, like, announce it and then it's out within 6 months.
So like
Announce it and it's out at the end of the year.
six
So I
months to
wouldn't
a
be
year,
surprised
yeah.
if, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's really on the horizon between this year and next year. So I assume that the dream of having another in-person Capcom Cup for Street Fighter V is dead, which kind of makes me a little sad. I mean, granted, FF5 isn't the world's greatest game, but it would have been nice to have one more Capcom Cup.
Yeah, I mean, man, Street Fighter 4 Capcom Cup was peak.
Yeah.
For me. For me. I,
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of like Mena RD or like I don't really care for him.
I love the fact that more uh more non-Asian continent players have been winning. I really respect that because that means to me the scene is growing. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. There are just certain things about the game, the meta of SF5 that I find boring.
Yep.
I love the fact that it's an offensive focused game. It's just like there really aren't enough options. You know what I mean? To make the game kind of interesting on a more than just kind of a basic level.
There's only so many times I can watch Shine do Ibuki's what is it like?
Giant shuriken combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to see that anymore. I'm like, I watched that like once and I was like, fuck, this is boring. Jesus Christ. Like,
I mean, it's cool to see it hit once or twice, but then like you see how often it hits,
and then people are so used to it that they just block it all the time, and it's just like, why are you doing this combo anymore? I don't even know. It's like because there's not enough options to be creative,
Yeah, no, that's my biggest problem with SF5 is that like as cool as the increased offense over 4 was, there's just not enough technical options for that game to be interesting most of the time.
Yeah, I think it was what was it?
Like I just made a post the other day about like what people could do for an SF6, and it would have been really cool to see some new stuff. You know what I mean? Like yeah, like I don't know, like what would you want back? Like Perry's coming back would be neat. I think
that's not gonna happen.
But like it like it'd be cool if it were kind of like how Parry's worked in, or not Parry's, but like Just Defense worked in Guilty Gear, where like it was parries based on meter. I think that would be kind of interesting. And maybe having like shit based on meter, I think that would be interesting. But like, I don't know. I just want 6 to be a very different game than 5, and I'm hoping we don't get more of the same.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like shit, I would like it. Like I would even be okay if they went back to like sprites. Like
I don't necessarily want that.
I think like if they made a game like maybe like a sub game of sprite, like a sprite based one, that would be dope. But
I don't know. I think sprites just cost too much to make nowadays. I don't think anyone's going back to sprites anytime soon. Sad as it is.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people, like a lot of bigger companies, aren't really even trained to make sprites anymore. So
also true. Also a true thing.
So but yeah, I don't know. Like I would want to see like completely revamped graphics, like have it look amazing, make it look like the best fucking thing ever, and then
they should hire some of the people over at like Arxis doing all the amazing looking 2D animation, or not 2D, but like anime style 3D.
Yeah, but if they go to Arxis, then Arxis they would have to admit that Arxis is finally the best fighting game company of all time.
I know, right? That would be
they would have to do it. They would have to admit it, man. They would
True.
It's like Arxis is what Capcom was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Free.
Based Arxis.
Based Arxis. Yeah.
But yeah, no, Arxis on that Sigma grind set. They don't need to make your game. They're making their own.
Yeah, they don't need Street Fighter. They have Dragon Ball. They like it's that game is more popular than Street Fighter.
Yeah.
So I actually have a friend. Well, I have somebody who like he's on Fiverr and he teaches classes for how to play Street Fighter or and he and fighting games, and he actually says that he mostly gets Street Fighter players. So
Yeah, because a lot of people still want to learn and hop into that game and play. That's one of the things I always respect about Street Fighter players is that I think the culture of trying to hop in and learn the game is still very much there.
dude, I just like seeing like I want to see some shit like for me, I want to see some shit that I've never seen before, and I think
In Street Fighter 6?
yeah, I mean if possible, I mean I think
Yeah.
a big problem with me is that I tend to like older jank games because they have mechanics that aren't in fighting games anymore.
Yeah. Dude, what's it called? I think the real bout Fatal Furies have like ring outs, and which is in a
Yeah,
2D game insane to me.
yeah. They also have like they also have like sidestepping from like
Yeah.
right and left. Like they have like kind of a beat 'em up type. Like they can move up and down, and but there's a
Yeah,
button for that. There's a
there's like a
sidestep button.
two-level system. Yeah, yeah, there's some crazy
No,
stuff.
it's a 3 level system
Yeah.
because they have the center lane, the far lane, and the one nearest to you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
there's some nutty stuff.
Look, I mean I don't care about that because I prefer, in my opinion, I prefer Garo to the Fatal Fury games. But
Hero is a great game. Yeah.
yeah, I mean the only thing that like Fatal Fury has over Garo is that it has like cool like more cooler characters.
Mhm.
But Garo is dope. What would I want to see? I love um what the fuck is that mechanic? It's in Street Fighter Alpha, like custom combos. That's fun because
Yeah.
custom
4 had
combos.
a couple custom combos you could do.
Yeah, and like the thing is like with 4 you have FADC cancels. So like you have options in terms of like what you want to do after like a low forward fireball. Like you can cancel like out of a low forward fireball. You're not locked in. Like you don't have to like die on the fireball game because Capcom doesn't want like projectiles to be good like
Hmm.
in Street Fighter 5.
Hmm.
Um I'd like to see reversal DPs come back. Uh
Yeah, yeah, no, I miss reversal 2Ps too. The only thing is like, how do you balance reversal DPs? Because it's like, do you give every character one, or do you give like characters that don't have one an anti-reversal DP? Or you know what I mean? So like, I think that was one of the reasons why they gave him up in this game is that because it really unbalanced character levels. But I
okay.
mean, character tiers. But I mean, character tiers have always been unbalanced, so maybe
Look,
that's okay.
I think it like the only like I say this all the time, but the only tier lists only matter for pro players. Like and like higher level players. Like for beginners and scrubs, it doesn't matter. Like it's not what's like winning your game. Like the only reason that DPs aren't invulnerable anymore is because scrubs don't like that.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like I don't know. It's the same reason why like when Street Fighter 5 had a 5th season, they just buffed the shit out of Ryu because because who does when you're new to Street Fighter, who does everyone play? They play Ryu. You know, they but Ken could go fuck himself, I guess. I don't know. I'd like to see Shotos come back as like a main character, and I would like to see everybody
I'd
have
like
like
to see him come back as a viable playstyle. I
yeah,
agree.
Shoto and like
And not
like
special shadows like Akuma, just regular shadows.
give everybody a good reversal. Like
Mhm.
don't stiff grapplers like don't make him like Abel where he has some good reversals, but overall if he has to actually like time his shit like um like Alex is terrible at at aerials. Like he has to like do his like heavy anti-air like so early, um or you just have to elbow people and then not get a good mix-up from that. Like I want to see good mix-ups from like hitting people out of the air. I want to see that, you know I want to see canceling back. reversals. But I want that to use meter. I don't want to have like a second meter for that. I want that to just use.
Yeah, no. One of the things I did kind of notice about this latest generation of Street Fighter Five is that so honestly, like I'm not surprised, but the first couple seasons felt entirely different from the back seasons. Um, A, because they kept adding mechanics, but B, I think a big reason is because Ono left and a bunch of the other game design staff left, and they're
Yeah.
like, okay, let's entirely re-examine our game design philosophy and see if we can change some shit up. So towards the end, you started getting a lot more interesting things. Like you got really long anti-air combos that you didn't get before. You got a lot more cool mix-up mechanics. You got a lot more interesting stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so I totally respect the new game designers for at least trying new stuff. I don't necessarily think all that new stuff is fair, but I give them mad points for trying because like the first two seasons of SF5 were just stagnant. They were just boring.
I mean, yeah. If you don't like Nash, yeah. um,
Well, okay, so but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't agree with a lot of the changes they made. Like, even then, they had cool ideas for characters and they took them away. Like giving the Mika that mid-screen reset where she could throw people at a wall. Them taking that away kind of ruins her character a little bit. I
Nash
mean,
was
yes, she's still
so
playable,
much more fun during
but
the
yeah,
beta.
same with Nash. Nash was way more interesting, and
Like,
I'm like, okay, just like fix his dash thing, give him his legs back.
yeah, give him, yeah. Don't chop off his limbs, man.
Exactly.
Give him back his low forward medium. Make it cancelable. Fuck it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Um. Like I miss like just more like it was more there. It wasn't as it didn't feel as sort of. I think 50/50s are the reason why it things don't feel stiff. You know what I mean? Because most of the time, like with Nash, it's like he's in the corner and he activates his teleport, and he like if someone's in the corner, right, on the side of the screen, right, and then Nash does his teleport, and and this is the wall. You have a 50/50 like you have to guess. I mean, obviously that I just want cheap shit. Give me cheap shit back. I want that.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Give me cheap shit and some good defensive options against cheap shit based on meter. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm kind of like starting to in Tekken 7. Like, you know how a lot of people were complaining at the end of Street Fighter 4's life. Like they were complaining about cheap stuff. Well, I kind of like. Tekken 7 has a lot of cheap things too. Like there are like Kunimitsu is really cheap. Have you seen a lot of like Tekken 7?
Not lately.
No. But
not with the Kunimitsu badge, no.
Kunimitsu has like full corner carries and like basically can take away like 75% damage in one combo. Actually, Ganryu can too, but at least there's a way to get out of that. Like you have to duck, but you still have to take. You basically, I don't like anything where you have to eat the damage to get out of it. Like you just have to eat a hit. Like I don't want that. I want to be able to defend a situation by guessing correctly. But fighting games are very difficult to program. I've never made one, so I don't know. What do you think, man?
Yeah, like
anyway,
I
didn't mean
my opinion on cheap shit is give me cheap shit.
Yes.
But give me ways to defend against cheap shit. Yes. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna give me cheap shit, like give me some meter based ways to defend against cheap shit, and I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean there's at least a back and forth in decision making here.
Like I don't want it to be like Marvel 2. Where it's like to me, Marvel 2 is so inaccessible to new players. You know what I mean? The skill gap is like so huge. Like it's just not beginner friendly. At least to me. Like just the idea of like in Marvel 2 how like a lot of the times one skill is to take away the camera from one of the players and hover above the screen so people can't see what the fuck's going on, and then you throw out your assists. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Shit like that.
Yep.
Like I don't like that.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't like that kind of cheap shit, but like cheap shit where you can at least see what's going on and be like, okay, maybe this is a 50-50. Yeah, that's okay in small instances.
well, I mean, like Trombone, right? Trombone has like a thing where she'll hover above your head, and then she activates the minions or whatever, and basically you have to block, guess the right situation. Um, but yeah, at the same time, if I was a new player when that happened to me, and it made me not like Marvel 2 anymore. So I was like, you know what? This game's fucking cheap as shit. I'm not playing this anymore.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think sorry, not to get off topic. I think Street Fighter 6 needs cancels. I think it needs reversals that are meter based, but not. I don't want it to have like a subsystem. Um, but I
What do you
think
mean? What do you mean by subsystem?
so. Like how in subsystems are another way that like fighting games, like modern fighting games, have sort of like closed the gap in terms of skill for new people. Like the ultra. Remember ultras? Like in
Oh,
Street Fighter
like
4
comeback mechanic systems?
mechanics. That's exactly what I don't want comeback mechanics. I want those to be taken away. Like um
I don't hate them. I don't know what it is about not hating them, but like to me it just increases the tension. Like when you're beating on somebody,
well that's the point,
like
yeah.
they have a last ditch desperate effort to get some points back on the board. I'm okay with that. It increases the tension. Just like I mean, a lot of people bitch about it, but just like the was it the fatal blows in Mortal Kombat or whatever 11, the one that like you can only do once a round, but it like does like a quarter bar damage or something like that.
Oh yeah, it's basically like the rage art or rage
Yeah,
drive.
yeah, it's the once per round rage drive and MK11. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with comeback. I'm okay with comeback mechanics that like, bruh, if you're stupid enough to get hit by it, you deserve it.
Honestly, you know what? In that, like, I hear you. It's been a long time since I played a modern fighting game without a comeback mechanic. Like,
Yeah,
you know, I think that would be maybe a fresh way to mix it up. Like, maybe it would force them to come up with something creative. I don't know.
I never agree with you. I would be interested to see what someone did without a comeback mechanic.
So
Or like just try to come up with an alternative kind of comeback mechanic. But I
yeah,
honestly don't hate comeback mechanic as long as they're like well designed and aren't like stupid. I'm okay with that because it creates some really tense moments. Like look at like Ishen and Samurai Showdown. You know what I mean? Like some of that shit is
yeah.
hype as fuck. When you think someone's about to lose, then they're just like, "Nope, fuck you! I took your whole bar, bitch."
Yeah, like at any point, like they can kind of
Yeah,
well. So I don't fully understand Sam Show. Like I
yeah.
didn't watch it enough to be like, oh yeah, I get this. But I do know that they
There's like
have like an
three
it's
different kinds of supers. That game is nuts, bro.
yeah. Oh man, bro, did you ever play Soul Calibur like Homaru and Soul Calibur 6?
No.
He's trash, dude. He sucks.
Yeah, he was not that good in that game. Dude, I like honestly, I know he's one of the like core characters of the franchise. Like one of the I can't remember what the word is. One of
Like
the
he's the main character of Sam
yeah,
Show.
like he's one of the, yeah. But I wouldn't have picked him for SF6. I would have picked the guy that has like 7 different swords. I forget what his name is. He
Yeah.
was in SM Show 5. I
I,
think his design is way cooler, and like what you could have done in Soul Calibur with him would have been way cooler.
I think he wound up being the replacement main character.
Yeah, I think he was the replacement main character in Sam Show 5.
Yeah, he
Um,
was.
but yeah, I would have picked him instead. I think he would have ended up being cooler in Samurai in Soul Calibur.
So like the thing is that with Homaru, he needs like 3 activations to be like like 3 buffs to be
Mhm.
any kind of useful. Mind you, damage in that game is like it just like health just melts off of you. So
In Soul Calibur,
and
yeah,
Soul Calibur, yeah, and Soul Calibur. So basically, um, you're like you're making a long shot. He doesn't have good damage when he's just base. Um, and I don't know. He just wasn't fun. He felt so stiff. Like, you know, like Akuma, like in Street Fighter. I mean, I'm sorry, Tekken 7 feels like he's like, okay, this feels like Akuma. Like, I don't know. It just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Um, I don't. Okay, but I don't know if they're gonna make another Soul Calibur. Did Soul Calibur 6 do well? I think it did, right?
It did okay. I don't think it did as well as they were hoping. Like, it didn't do Tekken 7 numbers, but it did numbers better than expecting.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, I don't know better than I don't know if that's good enough to get a sequel. I agree. It's kind of I think
Yeah.
it was kind of tossed up in a gray area, and I don't know where that's gonna put it in the future. Which makes me sad because I think it was a fun game. I loved watching tournaments of it. Like the NLBC tournament of it was great.
I
Um,
enjoyed it until I had to watch that fucking dude with like all the weapons or whatever the hell his name is. Like on is it like Oslamel or something like that? Or
Azriel,
yeah,
maybe.
Asriel. Yeah, I
I
think it's
think he was only like the worst character in like season one. I think they toned him down a little bit after that.
he he just
But
looked like he was super cheap.
yeah, he had some cheap stuff. But I think they toned him down a little bit later, and he was okay. Uh, I'm just kind of like I don't know. I thought that was a really good game. As I said, I think it suffered from the same problem early Tekken suffered from was that it's just like we live in an age where you need good netcode to keep your game going, and it didn't necessarily have the greatest netcode. So
Yeah, I think that was I don't know. Like I still I don't fully understand but his name is Aswell, I think.
as well,
As
that's
well,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So I don't fully understand how you should play Soul Calibur. Like it,
yeah. No, I don't. As I said, I don't
it's
know.
like a
I
foreign
don't know the
language to
meta of
me.
that. Yeah, I don't know the meta of that game. I want to learn it. I've always liked it. I really want them to bring back the RTS mode that was in 3. Like imagine like having an like dude, like honestly, if they were smart about that and was like really good game designers,
Hmm.
they could come up with like a modern cross between like a fighting game and Dota if they were really clever about it. And I would love that shit. I think people would really like a cross between like a fighting strategy game and a fighting game. Um like multiplayer. Like I'd love to play like if somebody even just took like SC3 and took that mode and made it like multiplayer, like that'd
Hmm.
be sick.
That would be sick.
Yeah,
I did enjoy the RPG aspect of it,
yeah.
but
The RTS mode in SC3 is one of my to me that's one of the coolest like mini single player games I've ever seen in a fighting game.
the story mode is hot garbage. But you know, like I in
I did
Soul
like the
Calibur 3.
random I like honestly in an era where like everyone was bitching about the QuickTime events.
Hmm.
I actually kind of liked the QuickTime cutscenes in that game. That was fun.
Yeah, but like none of them really like they didn't it didn't wind up mattering like story wise. There was hardly a story.
Yeah.
Like in turn
I think there are multiple routes, and depending on whether or not you passed or failed those, changed their story route. But yeah, overall, it wasn't that big a deal.
it wasn't that great. I mean, like in turn like I think Soul Calibur 2 was like a little bit more straightforward, but I think they wound up running out of time. I think Soul Calibur 3 came out too soon.
Hmm.
Um, and then after like 3, I feel like it went downhill. Uh, I though I do enjoy 5. Um,
I don't
I
know if
don't
I
know,
ever
man.
played 5. I played 4. I don't remember if I ever played 5.
5 is Soul Calibur Kids. So
Oh yeah, I was Soul Calibur Kids. I forgot. There was some cool stuff about that. I don't know if I liked the new characters, but I liked some of their movesets.
yeah, it didn't make any sense, but they basically switched them out because story wise, those characters should have died.
Yeah, everyone
Um,
was like that old. Yeah.
yeah, which is why 6 is a soft reboot.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I didn't really care for 4 either. Um, I didn't like. It wasn't even like the Jedi that was like, yeah, this is cool. Whatever, man. But yeah, man. Was there anything that you wanted to cover before we wrap up?
Let's see. Okay, so we talked about games. We definitely talked a lot about fighting games. Um, last couple of topics, I guess. Like animes lately. Have you been watching anime? Have you been getting back into anime? I've been trying to get back into anime because like I don't know. I just like I have a little bit of anime FOMO now, and that like my brain is like maybe I am missing good shows, and I want to see if there's still good stuff coming out. Um, and yeah, I got back in a couple shows. I found some shows I liked.
Mm-hmm.
There is still good stuff coming out. The shows I found out and ended up liking them. Some of them are isekais. Yet
Oh no.
I still think they're making way too many isekais. So
Yeah, well, I mean,
I don't like it's a double-edged sword because every now and then you find one you like, but then like you want to be mad about it because it's like there are more things you can make than just isekais.
all right. I have an idea, and tell me if I'm crazy or something like
Yeah.
that. But it's a new idea for an anime. What
Yep.
if we put an anime in a high school setting?
I know, right? I know.
Call me crazy.
I don't think anyone's tried it before. It's
Nope.
genius.
I think it's fucking some new ideas there, man.
The next big thing.
Dude, they need to make some kind of like here's my idea. Okay, they got to make an anime where a kid gets hit by a truck.
Yep.
Goes to another world where he has to go to school to become some kind of a soul reaper of some kind.
Yeah. Dude, I know, right?
Anyway, basically, it's just like My Hero. That formula of like My Hero.
Yeah, no, there's dude, there's even like there are so many isekais. There's even a genre called a reverse isekai now, where like someone from like a mystical magical world gets like knocked into our world, and then they have to like go find a job and make a living. A bunch of other dumb shit.
Is
like
it?
That.
Oh, whoa! That's like a devil. Is
That was
like
a part timer.
Yeah.
Like there's a show called like Jahi something. I can't remember what the full title is. But there were two other reverse isekais I was reading about where I'm just like, okay, so it's even become an anti-meme now. Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean,
it's an easy way to do exposition to a story, but goddamn, there's so many isekais out there, and even the ones I like, I'm just like, oh, but it's another isekai.
I just think like shonen anime in general is like kind of really stale. Like,
dude, it really does feel homogenized. Like even the good ones out there, it's not good because of the concept. It's good because of what's going on in the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just like I mean I would love to see like someone make. I don't think it'll ever happen again, but like maybe someone make it like another Berserk or like Fist of the North Star. Like I feel like you're never gonna see like original kind of like new animes like that.
Yeah, I just want new original stories that aren't like they don't recycle every single old anime trope ever. That's just what I'm tired of.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
I've seen so many of the same tropes over and over again that you just get tired of them at a certain point. And that's what kind of bums me out. But yes, I mean there are still some fun shows out there. Recently I discovered what's it called? Mushoku Tensei, which roughly translates, I think, to Jobless Reincarnation, which was really fun. It's a really heartfelt story. Yes, it's an isekai, but I find the character really relatable, just because, like, so his story is that, like, he was kind of like a shut-in, like, 30-year-old NEET. He'd been bullied in high school, so, he ended up never wanting to leave the house. Something happens when he's an adult. He gets thrown out, and then he dies getting hit by a car, trying to save someone else from getting hit by a car. Winds up in a new world. Winds up in a new world, learns magic, ends up being good at it. But I don't know. It's kind of refreshing, because the character like is still kind of a nerd, so he's like constantly making topical pop culture references, which are actually pretty funny, like even in the dub. I've watched a little bit of the sub. Some of the references are still there that I can understand too.
Yep.
But the main character's funny. He's relatable. He doesn't start out OP. Like, he starts out being able to learn magic faster than everyone else. Which in a sense is starting out OP, but like, it's not, he doesn't have the attitude of so many other main characters where they just think they're the shit from the beginning. Like, he kind of tries to stay humble, or at least a little bit humble, which I respect because you don't see that in a main character very often. But it was just a fun show. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to find a way to justify it.
That's fine.
Just because it's an isekai, which I feel bad about. But I was really impressed by how much of kind of a heartfelt show it was. It definitely felt fun. And it didn't feel too tropey. Even when it intersected with tropes, it felt more realistic than a lot of other shows do it. When they're just doing the trope for the trope's sake rather than actually writing a story. I feel like they were trying to make a story here, but it was a fun show. It has like 24 episodes now. They split up. They kind of do a lot of modern anime does, where like if they're gonna do more than 12 episodes a season, they split it up into season 1 part 1 and season 1 part 2.
Right.
And season 1 part 2 just wrapped up. After that, I ended up picking up the light novels. After the show leaves off, and they're surprisingly well written. That's the one thing I kind of do respect a lot of anime for, even though, again, it calls into the question the quality of a lot of light novels is that, like, rather than writing original anime, or rather than having an anime based on a manga, now most modern animes that come out are based on light novels, which I at least respect because at least there's a lot of content there usually.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to write written content than it is to, write manga content, because then the speed goes at the speed of the art rather than the speed of the story.
Right, you don't have like filler arcs and shit.
Yeah, exactly. So I respect that, like, the story seems a lot more focused with a lot of these animes that come out based on light novels because there is content there to animate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I give it a shout out. Like, Jobless Reincarnation, probably like a 8 or 9 out of 10. Definitely a fun story. Surprisingly fun story for an isekai. Other than that, I went back and checked out Demon Slayer because, as I said, I watched the first half. I've watched the first season on Netflix. Super good.
Mm-hmm.
Second season just started recently in the fall. And basically, like, it was kind of cool because a movie came out.
Is that
but the movies?
Is that a
Yeah.
school? Does that take place in a school too? Is it demon hunting school?
Nope. Demon Slayer doesn't take place in a school.
Okay.
There's a couple of small montages where they're like training their skills, but no, it's mostly kind of like Naruto, early Naruto almost, where they're mostly just out going on missions. And honestly, I love adventure stories like that because the scenery always changes. They're always out doing something rather than
Yeah, it's
having
like
kind of that locked in setting.
it's like early like season 1 Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, they're just out doing missions, which I really respect and I find more interesting than them just staying in one location and training all the time.
Orochimaru, we gotta beat him.
Yep. So no, Demon Slayer is really cool. The first half of season 2, actually they even split up season 2 into 2 parts, but the first half of season 2 recaps the movie for you if you didn't see the movie, which is really cool. I respect them for doing that because not everyone is gonna go see the movie. So, like, if the movie's actually part of the plot of the story, which it is, they wanted to cover it, so they did that.
Right.
And now they're into a whole new arc that takes place after that, which is really good. I think there's 6 episodes in, so there'll probably be another 6 to go. But again, it's done by Ufotable, and Ufotable makes beautiful art, so everything in the show is beautiful. 100% we'll give a shout out there. Looks really, really cool. And yeah, I mean that there's a couple other good animes currently out. World's Finest Assassin, Reincarnation, yada yada. Another isekai just finished. That was fun. Again, that one is a little more tropey and cringe than Jobless Reincarnation, but it was still kind of fun. I like, honestly, some of the more interesting things about isekais aren't necessarily the characters, but the worlds that they kind of build and inhabit.
Okay.
And one of the coolest things about this one was that the character came in from, you know, our world and then came into the new world in like he basically picked like, you know, Spellweaver as one of his skill slots when he reincarnated, and that gives him the ability to make new magics. And then like, you know, he came in and like immediately started improving the current magic system of the world, which I always think is kind of interesting, at least from kind of like an author angle, because it's so cool like finding authors that try to like incorporate logic and science into the magic system of whatever world they're in. You know what I mean? Trying to make like hard magic systems as a part of the world. So I mean that was kind of interesting. Like he basically kind of like identified like, oh yeah, so if you do this, you use the atomic number of whatever element and you can produce this thing. And it was kind of cool. There was a nice little overlap between like a logic and the magic system of the world he was in. It wasn't just like DBZ where like, you know,
It's like I got key power.
yeah. It wasn't just like DBZ where like the more you focus on taking crap, the stronger you get. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But yeah, it was a cool story. Or it was aesthetically a cool story. The story was kind of dumb, but the actual like magic and the other stuff like that made it at least a little interesting.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean that's I
yeah,
mean it's always cool when you know they have like an interesting magic system,
yeah,
or like because it makes you feel like it could be real, or
yeah,
it
yeah. It's
fleshes out
fleshing out
that
the world
world.
building.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly.
And like I feel like it's like it's not just, oh look, I learned this kick, now I kick real good.
Yeah,
um
exactly.
there's a little bit more than that, or it feels like it is.
Yeah, it adds more to it. I agree. So that was neat. Um, I'll probably start reading the light novels on that, but I don't expect them to be based on how the show was. I don't expect it to be better than Jobless Reincarnation. If I were to give it a shout out to one anime right now, that's the one I'd give a shout out to.
Okay.
But yeah, so like that's kind of what I've been checking out. There were probably some other good shows last year. I only have so much time and so much tolerance for new anime. Like it has to be really good to kind of catch my fancy. Otherwise, I'm just like, man, I've seen this before. Or I've seen another show exactly like it before. So yeah, and like, where are my space animes, brah? Like like maybe they're out there, but
Ooh.
like I feel like space animes used to be like a really big thing. Like Outlaw Star. I know Outlaw Star is almost like
Yeah.
25 years old at this point. So
I,
I guess I can't say recent, but like I miss that kind of show. You know what I mean? I want more of that.
yeah.
I want Star Trek, but the anime. Give me that. Um. So yeah, I mean that's the genre of anime I want to come back. But yeah, I mean there's still good content is still being made. I like my boomer brain still thinks that like anime that was coming out back in the day was more creative, which may or may not be true, but you know it's just
Well,
it is what it is.
I think with anime there was more, like there used to be more money, that was in it.
Agreed.
Obviously, because they didn't have to worry about people pirating it.
Yeah.
Um
No, I think that's a big part of it. I think it also costs a lot to produce now. It probably cost a lot to produce back then, but it's like the same in my mind. It's the same problem a lot of modern game studios go with is that they're less willing to try new things because there's so much money wrapped up into it. It's a lot easier to go broke than it used to be.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you have to think too, like uh most of it's going to be like CG now.
Yeah.
Like a lot of anime is heading in that direction.
Yeah. Which
Um
some of it looks gorgeous, some of it
yeah.
looks amazing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
Like
and then
I was watching stills of the new like I don't even know anything about the show, but like Princess Dive Reconnect. My
mhm.
God, the art looks amazing. Like I know nothing about the show, but like it's all like digitally colored or whatever. Like they're clearly using like digital art brushes to color everything, and it looks gorgeous as fuck. Like, but like again, that the chip probably costs money, you know.
I mean, every once in a while you're going to get a Berserk 2016, but
Yeah,
I mean, you know, at least it's not that. I think that's like really the only anime I've stopped watching because of how it looked.
yeah,
Um, you know, but Like the only anime that I've like intended to watch lately is like I meant to like start up JoJo's, but I
Dude,
haven't
I
been.
did. That was the other. I guess I didn't mention it because so many other people have seen JoJo's,
Mhm.
but I watched all of JoJo's. I am now 100% caught up on the entire JoJo's anime, and that took a while. Like it took me like 2 months,
Yeah,
or maybe 2 months and some change, because there's a lot of JoJo's. But it was actually super good. I was
yeah,
really impressed.
yeah. It's well worth your time. Like it was like my favorite anime for the longest time,
Yeah,
and like I mean my thing is I haven't seen part 5 yet, like all of part 5. So I wanted
yeah.
to watch part 5.
Which one's part five? Is part five Golden Wind?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't
Which,
remember. I can never remember them by their part numbers now because I watched them all in one big chunk. So
right.
everything kind of blends together to me. But
Well, yeah,
yeah, no. Part five was good. Part five was good. Um, part five was the point when I kind of realized that okay, maybe Iraqi isn't the best writer. Because
oh,
that was definitely the season where the cracks started to show, where there were some plot points that just went nowhere. And then you think back and you're like, okay, there's probably a couple other plot threads I missed that just decidedly went nowhere. Um, but I'm okay with it just because, the whole universe is such an interesting and fun concept
yeah.
that you're like, oh, you're good with it. But like, yeah, towards the end of part five, I'm just like, oh, okay, so this thing that you foreshadowed actually didn't mean anything at all. I
Yep.
guess that's cool. Like, you just have to accept it. It's like this went nowhere, but yeah, I mean, it was still a fun time. And it's still a really cool universe.
Man,
So yeah,
he really loves killing off his characters or giving them uh like not the best end of life scenario.
yeah. There's a couple different things, but I mean, yeah, it's part five was fun. I still liked how it ended. I watched part six. It's not done yet. Obviously, it's only like 12 episodes in, or
Oh yeah.
maybe six episodes or 12. I can't remember. But yeah, like Stone Ocean with Jolene. It was cool. I'm I'm a little mad because like as soon as like I started reading more about like JoJo's lore, I realized that like after part six finishes, he's just like, okay, so let's just do it all again, but with an alternate timeline.
Uh
Which is like, I wanted more in this timeline, but okay.
there it gets a lot like it changes quite a bit in part
Yeah, no,
7.
it's definitely different. Like it's not a reboot exactly, but it's like it's not the same timeline as everything you've watched up to now. Which I'm just like, I've watched like six parts up to now. Like, what do you mean you're gonna just start a new timeline? Like that kind of made me a little mad. Especially with some of the stuff they left unresolved with like part four, I guess. Like when Joseph like adopts somebody, and it's like I wanted a storyline with that, but I guess I'll never get that.
Like old man
Um,
Joseph?
yeah, old man Joseph adopts the child at the end. Not it's a spoiler, but not really that relevant a spoiler.
I'm trying to remember. Like, well, obviously Joe Taro is his
Oh no,
son.
no, you finished part four. Yeah, okay, so it was the baby that could turn invisible.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I remember.
Yeah, I wanted a storyline with that. I wanted to see what she would be like as an adult,
But
but
old
no.
man Joseph is senile, which is what I meant by like he doesn't give everyone like a proper, end of life. Like
Yeah, it's a little depressing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like look at what happened to like obviously I know what happened with Polnareff, and
Yep.
you know what I mean, like he killed off like Iggy and um
Oh, oh,
Abdal
I don't
and
want to
like
don't want to ruin part five for you. So like, yeah, there's
I
even worse shit happens to him.
yeah, I know what happens to Polnareff. Like I know the story, but I haven't watched it, you know.
Yeah.
Uh but yeah, they like just disrespect those characters. And not only that, but like in part 6 in Stone Ocean, it's like what is Geo doing? I don't know. He's just not here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like
yeah, basically.
he could solve everything. Well, I don't mean he's just not, you know.
He's not here. Yeah, he's too busy running his empire. He's got shit to do.
Well, think about it. Like
He's
they're
got mafia shit to do.
yeah, he's got mafia shit to do, which I mean, I guess it makes
Yeah.
sense. But
There's there's a really funny moment. Someone made like a YouTube edit of a clip where it's like it's a scene from like the end of part 6 where Poochie's using Made in Heaven. I don't know what that is. I know kind of what that is. I just haven't seen it yet. So like, I don't want any spoilers from people who do know.
Right.
But basically, it's that scene at the end of part 5 where what's it called? They're opening the window to look out, and like Geo's looking out on his empire. And all you see is like Made in Heaven activate, and like a bunch of shit's happening to the world, and they're just closing the door. It's like not my problem.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, it doesn't make much sense.
Cause like, well, but like Made in Heaven is super fucking OP also. So like, I can understand not wanting to deal with that.
Yeah, but doesn't he have the ability to shut down like the ability of other stands?
You would think that, but I don't know how that would interact with Made in Heaven. Like maybe it would work, maybe it wouldn't. But yeah, it's you do gotta wonder where it's just like, I guess Dio's just not here. Okay, you just have to accept it.
Well,
Geo's not here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But yeah, like JoJo is cool. But yeah, now part 5 was definitely the point where I started figuring out like, okay, Araki's great, but like not everything he writes is actually useful to the story.
So yeah, I think it's kind of like, oh, hey, he comes up with lots of good ideas, but also like, hey, his writing style can also be detrimental to.
Yeah.
Like I think that's why he decided to reboot it, because he wound up making everybody too strong.
Yep.
And he just
which I totally see. I totally agree with. Like, I mean, I don't know if I agree with it, but I understand that the characters he made are so ridiculously strong.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, where do I even go from here at this point?
Well, it's like ride out the Dio train until it the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, why do we need more Dio? Like, are there any more compelling bad guys than damn it, what the hell's his name?
Pretty looking vampire man.
Pretty looking vampire man, or freaking the
Diavolo?
No, not Diavolo. The serial killer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, part 4 was really boring. Kira was really boring.
Oh, you don't like it?
I wasn't feeling Kira that much. I was like, okay, so he's a pompous serial killer that just happens to be OP because of his powers. Like, not because he's actually that smart or competent. He gets saved by his powers in the 11th hour every single time.
Yeah, it winds up like they're just about to kill him, and then some bullshit happens, or like he figures out like, oh hey, look, I can make another bomb.
Yeah,
like Dio
at least seemed smart. This guy just seemed like he got lucky every single time.
Well, I mean, you have to realize that like if Jotaro was the main character, then this wouldn't be a problem. Like, it would have been taken care of. Like, Josuke is just like, he's just a kid,
Yeah.
I don't think he's like equipped to necessarily. Well, not only that, but they kill Kira with like an ambulance.
Yeah.
Which is so anticlimactic. It's just, But I mean, I like, you realize that like, oh well, I mean, I liked the fact that they didn't use an overpowered person to be a bad guy, and they still made that work somehow. But then it's like, at the same time, it's like, well, these other people are really overpowered, so we kind of have to write them off too,
Yeah.
And it's like, on to the next part, and it's like I think even with Joseph, it's like Joseph is like super strong, best Homon user.
Yeah.
And then
he got old, so we had to super nerf him. Yeah.
Yeah, he got super nerfed with old age.
Yep. Meanwhile, like every other Hamon user basically stayed super young. So was he just so shitty at Hamon use he couldn't retain his youth?
Well, he also never finished his training.
Yeah.
It like, he never trained with Master Tom Petty.
Yeah.
So, it, you know, like it. I mean, his mom. Wait, did his mom survive?
Yeah. Yeah. Lisa survived, so she could have kept training him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, God damn it! Look, don't think too hard about it, okay? Like
I mean, that's
it's
what JoJo's is, though.
yeah,
Like, the more you think about it, the more you're like, ugh. Like
yeah.
that could have been done better, but it's all good. It's still fun.
The whole point of JoJo's is you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, JoJo's is fun.
It's a good
Which
time.
like is the best thing it's going on about. But yeah, I mean, new JoJo's was good. I can't wait for more. Or I'm excited for more. I don't know. Yeah, as I said, like the further I get into JoJo's, the cracks definitely start showing. Like to
For sure.
me, part 3 was easily the best of all of it.
Hmm.
Uh, that part 3 seems to be the high point in the franchise, but I mean, I'll still watch more of it. But yeah, I mean, there's still good animes coming out. I just wish there were more good animes coming out. Like I want more shows like Ghost in the Shell. And I don't think I'll get more shows like Ghost in the Shell. So
Right. Um, for sure. So anyway, man, I think we
but
should
yeah,
probably.
last but not least, did you have any opinions on the Steam Deck? That was the last thing I was on my list.
Oh, right.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, well, what exactly?
So,
Just
like, are you excited for it? Like, I mean,
oh,
you put in your order pretty early, so like, you might be one of the people getting it
I
at the end of
I
like February or
I
March.
should be. I
Yeah.
should be. Because I was
Like,
like,
did you go and check your reservation? Because like it said, like whether or not you were quarter 1 or quarter 2 now on the
I
website. If you go and check it.
I mean, I haven't checked. Are you talking about on Steam?
Yeah, on Steam.
Like, is it the Steam website or the Steam like?
No, yeah, it's on the Steam website. If you click on Steam Deck, it'll show you where you are in the reservation queue. It basically will just either tell you if you're quarter 1 or quarter 2.
All right,
But
let me
I
check
assume you'd
this.
be quarter 1 because you pretty much reserved it right when they came out.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me check here real quick. I want to know. I want to know. I'm dying to know.
Yep.
Um,
But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I reserved the most expensive one because I'm an idiot. So hopefully I'll still have money by the time my order comes up. But I definitely want it.
I mean, I wound up buying the cheapest one just
Yep.
because I I don't know. It just I wasn't sure
It
if it was
doesn't
going to
matter.
be
It
worth it.
really doesn't matter either way. It's plenty of storage both ways,
Okay, so
and you can upgrade it.
says my availability is quarter 2.
Ah, okay. So you're gonna be. You're gonna be waiting a little bit, but hopefully you'll probably you got
Hold on,
yours. You
wait.
put yours in pretty early, so
Reserved
you,
on your expected order availability quarter 2 2022. Yeah.
yep.
So
I'm a quarter 2 boy too.
you're on quarter 2 as well?
Yeah, but again, like I don't think they made a quarter 3, so you know what I mean? Like I think there's quarter 1s and I think there's everybody else. So you're still ahead of me in the queue.
How did Yeah, but
And I
like
didn't reserve mine until December.
that's so strange because I feel like I like reserved it right off the bat.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be big. It's like I'm not gonna say they're running into the same problem that the PS5 is with like scalpers, but
Mhm.
this thing's gonna be huge.
Well, I mean, just like the fact that you could have the Steam catalog on the go is like
Awesome.
it's amazing because
Yeah.
it's probably going to be like the best handheld.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you put it in a console mode and
So
I
not
don't
to
know.
mention you can most emulators support Linux, so you can put RetroArch on it. And they literally just said CMU is gonna support Linux too. So like that's like 99.9% of emulators are now gonna be Linux compatible, which means you can turn it into a portable EMU box, which is exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
Not to mention that, as I said, I put in an order for the Sinden light guns. So imagine having like a portable light gun box, man. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, but it also sounds very difficult to aim.
What do you
Uh
mean?
like if you're using it like just a
No, no,
portable
no, no,
screen.
no, no. You're gonna dock it. I'm gonna
Oh
dock
yeah,
it
yeah,
to
yeah,
the
yeah.
TV,
Yeah,
and then
okay.
I'm gonna have light guns on the go, which is my
Ooh,
dream. So
bro, that's actually pretty cool.
doesn't that sound sick?
That does sound sick.
Yeah, exactly.
Um you know what else? You can have your Switch Pro
Yep.
because you can download the Switch emulator.
Yup.
and you can put that shit in 60 FPS.
Exactly.
You know, then you don't have to wait for Nintendo to release an OLED too.
Exactly.
I can't believe they're like, oh yeah, we need a new system. All right, OLED to OLED, make it OLED, do it. It's just like fuck. Like it's not. Don't get me wrong, it's nice, but it's like very specific, and I don't know who it's for. You know,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah,
it
no,
was so
I don't know why
strange.
they didn't just make a Pro. Like, people like, oh, yeah, OLED screen's cool, I guess, but it's not the upgrade that most people wanted.
Yeah, I mean, like first of all, it's only OLED it's only OLED in fucking handheld mode. So
Yeah.
it's like I think also like they found out that did you hear about the whole Bluetooth thing?
No, what's the Bluetooth thing?
So on the Switch, Bluetooth has always been available.
Yeah, yeah, they had to just put an update in,
Yeah,
but right? Is that what it is?
yeah. So like but they wanted you to use the stupid like Switch app with like instead, like the terrible one on your phone.
Oh,
Because like you know
weird.
like but now you can just connect a Bluetooth headset and use like talk to people that way. Though I don't know how that's gonna work. Basically you're stuck to Discord, I think.
Yep.
Nintendo feels like it's very much like out of touch with like what people want, or at least gamers, what gamers want.
Mm-hmm.
uh I don't know, but yeah, I'm excited for the Steam Deck. I can't wait until it comes out. I'm kind of bummed it's quarter. When's quarter two exactly? Because I don't really think of like years and quarters.
Shit, I don't know. Probably after sometime after March or April, I assume.
Check this out.
Yeah. So it's still gonna be a little bit of a wait, but I mean, I'm still hyped.
Yeah. It is between January 1st and okay, no, my bad. Second quarter is between April and June.
Yep.
So we got like and we got like 3 months until.
Yep.
I mean, it's not too bad. Honestly, I keep forgetting about the Steam Deck. like like I keep
Yeah.
forgetting it exists. Because it's been so long since I put in my order.
Yep.
Uh, that I'm okay with waiting.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, that's how I feel about my Sinden light guns, and like it's not even just an order. Like you fully purchased those, so like I'm still supposedly I'm gonna be waiting till at least March,
Right.
but I'm okay with that because that'll be bomb when I finally get them.
Speaking of which, we should. Uh, I'm
Light gun stream, hell yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. And I mean, I have CRTs for that. So.
Yep. Well, we don't need to use CRTs because it's a Sinden. So as long as we set it up right, we should be able to use regular LED TV.
Oh no! Like what I was saying is like I have bought like light guns for like the
Oh,
Saturn and
oh,
PlayStation
cool.
One. So
Yeah, yeah,
like I mean those will work on CRTs. So I'm saying like we should do an old school um stream. But
yeah. I'm down.
anyway,
But
is
yeah,
there?
that just about wraps it up. I mean, other than that, it's just kind of modern pop culture shenanigans. And we could talk about that another time. So not a big deal.
Yeah.
Just more clowning on Kanye West for doing even sillier Kanye West things. Like he's now like throwing like Pete Davidson disses onto his songs. So I'm just like,
That's weird.
dude, that man is living rent free in your head right now, bro. So
Oh
sad.
man. Yeah, I mean
Man is taking such a massive L. It's not even funny.
that is pretty sad. I mean, like, like when you have to like diss Pete Davidson, like
Yeah.
that your mental health is probably not the best.
You're scraping the bottom of the barrel. I'm like,
I
bro,
mean,
your wife moved on, bro. You were too crazy for her.
all I'm wondering is like how
Yeah.
does Pete Davidson get all these women?
Dude, he's got the BDE, bro. He's got the BDE.
I guess so. God damn. That must be it.
He's got that. He's got that BDE.
Keeps getting these
I
baddies.
don't. I personally don't think he's that attractive a dude, but like every time I see like a comment thread on it, it was just like, he's not that bad actually, and it's like, okay. I mean, some chicks are into the heroin chic for dudes. I guess it's a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a thing, but it's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know,
There's someone out there for everybody. Exactly.
But anyway, yeah, man. So we'll be back with the podcast next Sunday, probably by 6, like anywhere from 4 to 6. We'll figure that out, and
Sounds good to me.
I'll see you then. All right, guys. Peace out.